Even more live shows with Adam Carolla at the end of this month in Bellflower, California. 2 shows at the Stand-Up Comedy Club on May 24th. Then on May 30th, he travels up to Washington for 4 shows at the Tacoma Comedy Club in Tacoma, May 30th and 31st. Then off to Spokane, Washington at the Spokane Comedy Club on June 1st. Tickets for these and more at adamcarolla.com. Big Beautiful Bill was also his gay porn name. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. The church, we got a mandate. Get it on. Excited to welcome Adam Ray back to the studio.
Yeah,
He's
baby.
got live Dr. Phil shows everywhere. What a party, man. Going to be in KC coming up June 1st, and then Cleveland on the 6th, Indy on the 8th, all in June. And it's fun. It is a party.
It is.
And it's not, most stand-up experiences are 90 minutes, an hour of stand-up, maybe, opener, MC gets up there, does 10 minutes, then the opener does 15,
Right.
Headliner does 60. These are brutal, grueling marathons of conversation. I mean, it's a 3-hour. It's like going to a concert.
It is. We're pushing. Yeah, we are the Sabrina Carpenter of comedy. Mm-hmm. It's 2.5 hours plus. We did one in Austin on the 19th of April. With we had Tom Lennon come out and do Lieutenant Dangle from Reno 911.
Oh,
and we had
Lennon.
Big J and Ogerson and Grace O'Malley and Casey Rocket. And Matthew McConaughey was not on the show, but he was in the audience.
Wow.
I get to the meet and greet, and my wife's like, Matthew McConaughey was here. I was like, get the fuck out of here. And
That's
she's like, yeah, with his
amazing.
whole family. And he's a huge fan. Yeah, whatever. He came, they left before the chaos ensued, and he had to get, harassed by people being like, dude, say the line, man. Beat your chest like you did in Wolf. I don't know what you would do to McConaughey if you saw him. Probably, would you quote his Lincoln Navigator commercial? What would you?
I am so jealous of people who carve lanes out for themselves, and especially lanes where they don't have to say a lot of ridiculous dialogue. Like his commercials, whether it's for Lincoln or whether it's for Cutty Sark or whatever whiskey he's doing, it's like lots of tableaus of him sitting and thinking.
Yeah.
By a lake. It's by a fire. Like, it's so great because the only pain in the ass of our job is having to memorize a bunch of fucking dialogue and or repeat retarded dialogue that makes you sound like an asshole, but you do it because you want to get paid. He's like, what if there was a whole campaign where I just went to the lake by my house, parked the Navigator, and then drank whiskey by a fireplace?
Yeah. He doesn't probably even have a script. I feel like in those Lincoln, he's just sitting there, and they're like, Matt, we're just gonna roll and just go. And he's like, this car drives faster than most boats.
He's like,
do you think Chef Boyardee's a real guy?
Fascinating that you just film me thinking, and that's enough.
Or film me thinking, and then I'll add an ADR of just like, this cup holder could hold 5 Slurpees. You ever think about that? Hey, who was the first guy to do anal? Do you think he was a virgin? Like, just
it's the greatest.
It's Jack
gig ever.
Handy thoughts. That honestly should be. I don't know if that's what the commercial. Yeah, here it is. I think it's more.
Oh, you know
prestigious.
Who I'll tell you the other guy. I'll tell you the other guy's got the world cornered.
Katy Perry went to space, but the bigger question is, when's the McRib coming back? And I don't do a McConaughey, but look at that. He's just thinking.
Good. No,
he's just sleeping
that's
in the
whole
back.
thing.
He's not even thinking. He's sleeping.
What I'm saying is imagine this pitch to your agent. Let's get Lincoln to give us millions of dollars. And what are you doing? Riding a unicycle and juggling? No, I nap. But you could film me. You could film me
Kevin
napping.
Arnold Wonder Years voiceover over.
I don't even know if he's talking. The other guy's got the fucking bull by the horns as Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's just like, Versace, just film me walking and thinking about shit
Walking
with scarves.
through sand.
I'll put scarves on, and I'm so cool that I can literally just walk through a desert and you can film me and go, I bet that guy's thinking about a lot of stuff.
Doesn't he do Sauvage? Isn't that like a
Sauvage?
And
yeah.
I think there's no, most, like if you see like a Paris Hilton or a Lindsay Lohan, perfume or Kim Kardashian, it's like they'll have a couple lines of dialogue, or even Natalie Portman, I think, has one, and it'll be like, the sense of decor.
Yeah.
That love is the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
Warmth makes the heart grow fond. Whatever, some bullshit, and then it's like Estee Lauder for lesbian or whatever. Whatever the perfume is. But yeah, Depp just says Savage at the end. It's probably not even Depp. It's Eddie Vedder going like Savage. I sound like him though.
It's Gilbert Godfrey. A lot of people don't know that. He has a different voice.
Savage. They couldn't afford Johnny.
Show me. I want to see that Matthew McConaughey Lincoln commercial goes, I don't think he talks. And then he does the Wild Turkey commercial where he doesn't talk either.
Dude, what a life.
So
they just want to see you in it.
All right, here he is.
It's a nice car, though.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, the car is sinking in water.
It's just a bunch of glory shots of a Lincoln out on a salt.
You might not ever just stand there.
Oh, he talks, yeah.
Looking at it.
I mean, yeah, who needs porn? You're fucking to this commercial.
You may never even sit.
He gets paid $275K per syllable.
I mean, that's great. You never sit in the back. It's like multiple McConaughey's.
He's just going to relax.
So cool. I mean, by the way, this is what is going to happen when he does lose his mind at some point.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, Matt, he's like, dude, there were 5 of me were in the car. One of them told me to drive faster.
Yeah, he said 7 words and got paid $2 million for that spot.
You think? Yeah, minimum, right?
Yeah, minimum. Yeah, it's awesome. That's what you do. You want a job where people think you're so cool that you don't have to talk, and that's where he's at.
Do you think you make more from those? Because we're past the comedy. When he did like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, he's probably making 10 to 15 mil for that. Do you think now, just because we're not making those big budget comms anymore, that you might get more for a car or cologne or whiskey overseas or something?
We don't even need. There was a time when A-list celebrities had to go hide and do the spot in Japan. Now they don't need to do it anymore. Celebs are just ubiquitous. They can do any commercial. I mean, you see Dunkin' Donuts and Ben Affleck and stuff like that. You can just do whatever you want now. And
LeVar
just
Burton
paid.
has a tequila in Iraq.
He does.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think of. I go, all right, obscure celebrity. Tequila, obscure location.
Yeah, lost in translation doesn't even make sense anymore. The plot. Why would this A-lister have to go to Japan to sell booze?
I mean, Morgan Freeman hopped on the Visa train pretty quick, right?
Everybody, it's all dogs at the airport. No one dreamt of bringing a dog to an airport 10 years ago. Now it's all dogs at the airport because someone went, you'd be a fool not to get in on it.
Right.
And then once other cool people do, like when agents would pitch some A-lister, like when they go, Bryan Cranston, you got to be the voice of Ford. And he goes, I don't drive a truck. And they go, McConaughey's doing Lincoln. And they go, McConaughey's doing,
Yeah, he set the bar.
Good enough for me. Okay, then they do it.
Yep.
That's how it works. So the Dr. Phil show, by the way, big party. I did it. We did it in the round. It was funny. It was exhilarating.
Yeah,
you never knew what was going to happen, but it was great.
I appreciate you. Yeah, you did the Comedy Store one and one on the road for 3,000 peeps. And there's a difference between 300 at the store and 3,000. But the essence of the show being, there's a map, obviously, for me as far as, what I'm doing, when I'm doing it. And then it's a dance of how long do I, sit on each guest, each bit. But people like you that are just so down to clown, I mean, we could be out there and fill a full hour and a half, 2 hours if we wanted to. But that energy, yeah, you're right. It's different on the road. But there is something about the last one at the Comedy Store we had a few weeks ago was Kevin Nealon, John Stamos, Eric Andre, and Rich Eisen. And it was just such and already for the last one we're doing in June was so eclectic of a group, but everybody was so, and Stamos was like, so what am I doing? And I was like, dude, there's nothing really to prepare except for at the end, I have a comedian coming out to play a Full House kid, and we're going to do like Full House moment type thing where the kid comes out and goes, Stephanie Tanner stole. I was like, from season 4, episode 5, give it up for Cameron. He's like, Stephanie Tanner stole my bike, and I go, well, maybe if you weren't being such a fucking bitch about it. And Stamos goes, whoa, Phil, puts his arm around and goes, hey, bud. Spotlight, dramatic music. He gets down on one knee and goes, it's having a bike isn't just, he gives him a whole spiel, and then the kid stands up and goes, that's right, Dr. Phil. Stamos is better friends with me. Suck my dick, you piece of shit. I go, I'll fuck you up right now. I'll beat up a second kid today. Stamos goes, whoa, Phil, hey, bud. Gets down on one knee, music again, spotlight, and then and we did that like 2 more times. But it was one. And then we just did one, which I haven't even talked about this yet because we just got back yesterday. We went to Yellow Springs, Ohio. Word had traveled to Chappelle, and we did 2 stand-up shows at the Firehouse, which is Chappelle's club in Yellow Springs.
Wow.
Which was awesome. He hosts the show, goes up and does about 15 to 30, and just, it annihilates. And then I brought a couple openers, and then myself. And it's about holds maybe 250, 300.
Yourself as Phil.
No, myself as Adam Ray.
Yourself as Adam Ray.
And
sorry.
So I did 2 stand-up shows on the Friday, and then we did a Phil on Saturday. And Dave, hosted both stand-up shows, and then didn't know whether or not he was going to pop on Phil or not. Was kind of obviously hoping for it, but was leaving it open and planned the show as if he would or wouldn't. And he came on, man, and it was. It was unbelievable.
Well, just to be fair, every stand-up show I do, I plan it as if Dave Chappelle comes on or doesn't.
Yeah.
Every show I do, I have a plan for both.
Yeah.
Usually he doesn't.
Oh, man.
But I do it that way. I'll be in Bellflower this weekend planning it both ways.
Yeah. Planning to exit the stage early and
but if he doesn't show in the unlikely event that Chappelle doesn't show in Bellflower,
a couple extra bits.
I'll have some extra bits prepared.
That's a good
it's a way to do it.
Dude, he is so. I told him this too. I go, dude. On top of you being a real, thoughtful and obviously sharp and intelligent comedian, like I always was drawn to Chappelle for how silly he was, and not just from Chappelle's show, right? And whether it's just his act outs, the way he's always, even if he's making a long, drawn out point about something serious. I asked him at one point. I was like, Bugs Bunny is a big influence on you.
So he
Dave?
came out.
He ripped it. He was,
I love it.
And he was so pumped afterwards, which was the best part. He had so much fun. I mean, the whole reason I'm doing it is because it's fun as fuck, and to get to a point to where my favorite comic is, wants to be on it, and then has a blast, and it was, he's such an alpha. So there was a dance of like. Of letting him do his thing when he came out to get comfy, and then once he kind of figured out where I kind of fit, we really had a fun back and forth, and I think we might do it again somewhere. So, but it was incredible and really outer body because the last time I was in Yellow Springs was during COVID when he did these big shows at the Pavilion outdoors. Remember, he had all those outdoor shows. And Jaleel White, who was a buddy of mine, he and I went out to a weekend in Yellow Springs, and it was John Mayer and Sarah Silverman and Common and Louis C.K. and Tiffany Haddish and Donna Rawlings. And I, hadn't really known Dave at all yet, and I was there as more of a spectator, but I wanted to go because I had the opportunity to hang, and I was like, I want to see what that's like and be a part of it and maybe go up. And I'm standing watching the show at one point, and everyone's just ripping, and it was so, special for lack of a better word, because you're outdoors doing stand-up in a time where, we're only 4 months into COVID, so people are like, this might be the way stand-up is now, is just outdoors at wedding venues. And Jaleel leans over to me and goes, this is killing you, isn't it? And I was like, fucking yeah, dude. I'm like, I want to be on stage, but there's a reason why I'm not up there right now, and I got to figure that out, you know what I'm saying? And so to go back 5 years later.
What do you mean by that?
There's a reason why, there was a stacked lineup, but I went out to hang out, but I wasn't invited to go out and perform.
Right.
So, I try to early on, if you find yourself pointing at extraneous reasons for why you're not doing something, I try to flip it back on yourself and go, all right, well, clearly you're not doing something that is putting you in a, you know what I'm saying? In a category.
No, I know. Look, when you don't get invited to a party, there's one of 2 reactions you can have. You can either prepare for Dave Chappelle to show up to the party. No. Yeah. You can either... A lot of people get pissed at the person who didn't invite them.
And I've done that too.
Everyone, it's a default setting.
Yes.
But the bigger question would be, why didn't you get invited?
Yes.
You know this person. You thought you're on this footing with this person.
Right.
So cool down and let's figure out why.
Yeah.
And then let's figure out how you can get invited to the next party instead of telling the guy to fuck off.
Yes. And my
That's
goal
the way you have to
Exactly. You have to. It's a healthier way to live. And the goal wasn't to get back there at some point, but the goal is, I think everybody, you can attest to this, probably once you even start doing stand-up, right? Like, you want respect from your peers, and especially when they're at the top of the game like that. But the fun factor was high. It's a great club. Yellow Springs is a really wild city. It feels like it's out of an old movie because it's just, and he owns most of town. And it's this long strip of road, a lot of shops, diners, people making homemade bracelets outside, and but it's cool. I don't know how you I mean, you seem like someone that likes to do shows wherever the people are coming, right? You have no.
Oh yeah, I don't really have rules. I'll do shows anywhere, and sort of, they could be for money, they could be for free. I mean, it's a gift to be able to travel around and do stuff.
1,000%.
And really, just to have a microphone and have a group of people sit and look at you and wait for your next word to come out of your mouth is a blessing. Yeah. So it's all good. It all falls under the heading of good. There's just better, and sometimes you're out there with your idols, and it gets to a next surreal level almost. But it's all gravy. I don't really get the performers who don't really want to perform, and I sort of feel sorry for them. Like, sometimes I think about singers or musicians, and it's like I'll do this thing all the time where I go like, well, Britney Spears, I go, she's not a performer, she doesn't want to sing, right. And I go, what do you mean she's got all these hits? I go, when's the last time she walked out on stage? And people who want to perform could be at the height of their powers, and you'd find them on a Tuesday night at McCabe's doing an acoustic set. Yeah. And comedians who want to perform, you'll find on a Tuesday night at the Ice House working stuff out for free for 20 minutes because they want to. Well, if you don't want to, then you don't perform. So if you want to perform, like someone like yourself, then everything is salad because the worst night you're going to have is working on some material. Yeah.
I know I just did this dog rescue benefit show, and got into it with a woman who was, I shit on cats at one point, and she got up and got pretty, and I was like, oh, is this bad that I'm like shitting? And then there were a couple dogs. You could bring your dog to the event. So I got heckled by a Pomeranian at one point, and got into it with the woman whose dog it was. But I went real... I tried to keep it funny and light, but then the woman was so grotesque that I ended up just really going hard at cat people in general. And I have nothing against cats, but like, I've been attacked by 4 cats in my life. All my sisters, all were rescues. And again, what did I do to bring that on?
Your sister's cats attacked you.
Yeah. Also one of the gerbils. The mama gerbil bit my finger once before it proceeded to, I think, eat like 11 of her babies. Gerbils are wild pets. Let's cut to a clip. Gerbils are, I don't know. They're in the rodent family, but
cat, you were attacked. Listen, if you're attacked by cats, then 4 times.
Then I got to look in the mirror. What am I? Yeah, maybe I shouldn't.
I feel that way about people who were hit by lightning twice. It's like, all right, I don't know who you're molesting. I don't know why God wants you off the planet, but there's a message being sent, a cosmic message.
There was a great bit, R.I.P. Greg Giraldo, amazing comedian, and he did this bit where he talked about a guy. He goes, there's a news story, this guy who got struck by lightning 6 times and survived, then got married and got into an argument with his wife on a cruise ship and jumped off the cruise ship. He goes, God himself couldn't take this man out, so he was like, send in the experts. I'm paraphrasing, but yeah.
So the show, I want to say this. I was there at the first night of Dr. Phil at the Laugh Factory, I believe.
You were. Well, the first time that I even tried doing it on stage, before it was a live stage show. Yes.
Also, so lessons for the kids at home. There are no more rules anymore in comedy or entertainment. A-listers can do commercials for Lincoln, and there are no more. We can't tell you this isn't going to work or this is going to work.
And I'm doing commercials for bird scooters.
That's right, Tony. So you had this calling almost for Dr. Phil. Now, soon as they started with the prosthetics and the bald head and stuff, I would have been like, I'm not going to do 3 hours of prep to do 15 minutes set for free at the Laugh Factory. But you there was something. Now, when people say all the time, they go, well, did you know back then you'd be up with Chappelle? Did you know back then you'd be playing 3,000 seat places in the round? And the answer is no, he did not know, because if he did know, then it's an easy decision. Everyone would do it.
Right.
Like if I said to any human being, all you got to do is work at the McDonald's in Van Nuys for 1 year for free, and then you'll get $2 billion. Everyone would go, oh, okay, I'll do it. I'll start tomorrow, right? It's to do it for free and not know if you're going to get paid.
Yeah.
That's what separates.
That is what's great about this
everybody.
business. Totally. Is the uncertainty is you have to embrace it, but also, I don't know. You have to create your own good luck. But you're right. It's not like I was like, you know what? I feel like the comedy world is really... There's a void of like a daytime talk show host parody.
Yeah.
And I can't do Montel Williams, at least not with that attitude, but I got to find the right makeup artist to do bluff it. And then if that doesn't look good, then maybe Sally just knows. So it's so random and just I always want to do a live stage show with some character after seeing Mulaney and Kroll do Oh Hello, or Will Ferrell when he did his George Bush Broadway show.
Right.
So doing something like that was always appealing. So it was like, and this, honestly, the way I view things now, I'm doing another character show. I have this like 38-year-old man child named Jeremy. I don't know if there's any clips of it up on YouTube to pull up, or on my Instagram maybe there might be. It's a this kid, he's 38, he's obsessed with Joel McHale, he's got a rat tail and braces, and he lives with his parents, and so I'm doing a Jeremy's house. It's almost kind of like Wayne's World meets Pee-wee's Playhouse at the Comedy Store, and I got guests for that, and he's got a puppet sidekick, and his mom's boyfriend is like a guest on the show, and there's a live band, and it's another like, oh, this sounded fun, and then putting the pieces together, it'll be all improvised like Phil is, but that's on May 28th at the Comedy Store, and I felt myself going like, it's a lot of prep, it's a lot of work, and what if it bombs, which is how I was feeling about Phil, and another thing of just a mentality shift. It was like, man, how many more years do you have to try things out before people don't give a fuck if it works or not? Mm-hmm. So it was like, anytime I feel myself feeling apprehensive or scared, I try to lean into that within reason.
No, lean into whatever's scary. It's super helpful.
Otherwise, what are we doing? Like, you don't get better, and you're just going up and doing the same shit also every time.
No, I would tell people the same story. People would say, why'd you do Dancing with the Stars? I go, because I can't dance. And when the second somebody said, you want to do Dancing with the Stars, I felt fear like old junior high.
Oh, wow.
Johnny Finnegan wants to meet you in the parking lot after the sixth grade. Like a weird spinal fear where I was like,
Yeah.
And then once I felt the fear, and I just did a couple of dry bar specials clean. And people are like, how are you going to do a dry bar? Are you like clean, not PG, but G-rated?
Yeah.
Clean, And I was like, I don't know. But the second I got scared, that's when I said I'm in. So if something feels like, oh, man, or that's scary, or I couldn't do it, explore it.
Yep.
Feel it out.
Yep.
And you'll get better at everything.
I think they put...
We have a clip here from Instagram,
Okay.
I think.
This is, I think, a little trailer I made for the show on May 28th.
This is Jeremy saying.
Yeah.
Motherfucking noise! If you're in, make some motherfucking noise!
Oh, fuck yeah.
Can't wait to lose my virginity. Fuck! The toughest part about losing your virginity is saving up all the money to pay for it.
And that's what the...
I love that he...
Come in your cereal. Welcome to your Happy Meal. Switch up, bitch.
Holy shit, I'm gonna have lunch with Joel McHale.
Is that guy from Grey's Anatomy?
Fuck no, Mom, it's the hot white guy from Spider-Man 2. Mondays, am I right?
Huh?
Homemade sage. You hate it. Yes.
What's in that fanny pack?
What if I was just like, a fucking gun?
Yeah. Andrew Santino will be there. Cam Patterson. I think Joel's going to make an appearance.
Joel's the greatest.
He's the greatest. I just picked him. I was like, who's a celebrity that is, that is super well known, but also like you never, I don't know. In that people, that when people go like, who's your favorite comic? Who's your favorite actor? he's just such a respected, crushes it everywhere, but like not a. And I was like, that feels like someone that you'd go, oh yeah, but also like, oh, what an interesting pick from this 38-year-old man boy.
No, it's specific, and that's why it's great for the character.
Yeah.
It's also nice to see all the cross-pollination of everybody jumping in. People used to be kind of hived off. They did their own stuff.
Yeah.
They hated other comedians.
There's more crossover right now, I feel like, for sure.
Yeah.
And also people want to do fun. The show is so different than any other show, and hopefully that is appealing in some sense. But and also, relationship. But there's people that I've thrown out Hail Marys to on Instagram that have done it because of that. With whether it's Teddy Swims, the singer, or Johnny Knoxville, or Stamos. Trying to work out getting Scott Stapp from Creed. We've been going back and forth, just trying to like figure out a date. But and then I'm throwing bigger Hail Marys. And hopefully once I get some footage from the Chappelle show, I feel like that is a pretty good like. Hey, look who did it. Would you?
Well, the stuff begats, the one celebrity begats the other. When something gets a little juice and a little heat, celebrities, for all that's good about them, there is a weakness they have, which is they are high school. They're perpetually in high school.
Oh, wow.
And somebody just got a new Corvette and it's out in the parking lot and they all want to run out.
Oh, right.
And like, see, they get very heat oriented.
Right.
Like, so if somebody has an ounce of heat, and that's why they'll do it with anybody. Michael Avenatti was hot for like 10 minutes and everyone just went, Avenatti. And then it turned out he stole a bunch of money from clients. It turned out to be a bad guy. But we will jump on. And so like when a show can be around, your show, Kill Tony, shows like that. They can be around for periods of time, long periods of time. No one gives a fuck. And then all of a sudden, little spark and some heat, and everyone just goes, oh, you want to be a part of that?
Yeah.
Like immediately.
I am going to stop doing it in, I think August is our last show. So I think we have 8 left. So that KC, Cleveland, Indianapolis, and we have, I think, June 19th in Pittsburgh, June 21st in Atlantic City, July 12th in Reno, and then I think August 7th in Cape Cod, and then that's a wrap.
It's a great vibe. It's fun. It's like... It's nice because you're doing something that hasn't been done before. It's like formatically new.
Yeah.
And it is cool that there are no more rules.
That is fun, right?
I know. I agree. When I started doing live podcasts 16 years ago, it was like a new thing.
Oh, yeah.
But it's old because it's like an old-time radio show from the 20s
right.
in a theater. But a live podcast was just something that wasn't done. And it felt kind of interesting, formatically and different. And so we're there. John Stamos, by the way, I want to put together...
He was so fucking funny, too, man.
I want to put together a calendar. Oh, he's great. Of TV, 80s and 90s TV celebs whose catchphrase didn't catch on.
Oh.
Yeah, so because the Fonz had, started like, hey, and then there was like sort of up your nose with a rubber hose. That was like Vinny.
Sure.
What's his name from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Right.
And there were...
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah, like they had them. But every once in a while, like Stamos tried Lord Have Mercy.
Have Mercy, I think.
Or Have Mercy.
Yeah.
He tried Have Mercy.
Maybe he should have added the Lord.
It just didn't catch.
Yeah. Well,
he would try it.
I mean, Coulier had cut it out.
Uh-huh.
And then Michelle Tanner, the Olsen twins had You Got It, Dude. And And you have a fucking 3-year-old kid sticking their thumb out and going, You got it, dude. I mean, so it was tough competition. And then I don't know if How Rude. I think Stephanie Tanner had How Rude. And then DJ said, like, I'm going to make a network for only traditional American values or something.
What would be if there's... That's
a joke about Candace Cameron making a separate network for the
Lifetime.
They don't include gays. Yeah.
There... did I do that?
Well, that's Jaleel. That's my boy Jaleel White. That's our
yeah.
We played a game. Jaleel was on too. I go, let's play a game where I'm going to put up pictures. We AI'd pictures from the that were like things. Basically, I just need some advice, Jaleel, because I'm getting up there in age, and I don't want to say it's a bucket list per se, but it's a list of things that I want to maybe do or not do, and maybe you can help me figure out should I or should I not do that
quickly. In my experience, it's Jaleel White.
Yeah.
Is that how he say it?
Oh, yeah.
You do a Jaleel.
I said Jaleel.
There's something that you Jaleel. There's something about your Jaleel which confuses me.
Oh,
but it's all right. Keep going. Jaleel Urkel.
Yeah, Urkel, Steve Urkel, Stefan Urkel. But that might be the most popular catchphrase from the '90s, arguably.
Yeah. Joey Lawrence said, "Whoa!"
Oh my god!
Yeah, just a sound.
Just a sound.
What else? Joey Triviani had "How you doing?"
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Alf had you guys, if you send me back to my planet, I'm gonna kill you all. No, what did Alf do? He said,
I'm gonna rape the cat.
I'm gonna rape the cat again. Come on, Dan.
I don't think he said again. I just think he said, I'm gonna rape.
First time.
Yeah.
First time offense.
Yeah.
What else was there? Was there did Mr. Belvedere have a catchphrase? Oh, I guess Mr. Belding, Dennis Haskins, had, hey, what is going on here?
Oh, really?
That was his principal Belding.
Did the boss have one? Did Tony Danza have one?
Well, they had a lot of catchphrases. There was Angela. There was, hey, Jonathan, I know you caught me taking a shower. Do you want to see what that's all about? And then there was Samantha, quit eating all the Fruit Loops, you fucking twat. But those are like on the cutting room floor catchphrases. There's and then there was, hey, Judith Light, if you touch my exercise bike again, I'm going to punch you in the clit. That was, again, one of those catchphrases that I only used in the morning because, at nighttime, people get a little more sensitive.
There was, I think from What's Happening or Good Times, D had like, I'm telling Mama.
Yep.
All right. Oh, sorry, Jaleel White on stage.
Well, Jaleel had also Got Any Cheese. So that's the other thing, too. Stamos
really?
maybe only had Have Mercy. Jaleel had Got Any Cheese? And
really?
Did I? Because he had a doll. This is why, I had the Urkel doll. Can we pull up the Urkel doll? I mean, this thing, there might even be a nice commercial for it, but it was a pull string. And the doll, look, I didn't have many dolls. I got the Urkel doll, and I've told Jaleel what I did to it. And I was like, did I cut a hole in it? And did I do that? Yeah. So here it is. Yeah. Look at this thing. It had he had 5 phrases. I think that's the move. You need multiple phrases to catch on.
Let me introduce you to the Urkel doll. He's got my looks, my laugh, my voice, and all. Can I do that? So if you can't have me, get the next best thing. Talking Urkel. I just pull my string.
The laugh.
The laugh.
I mean, and you have him doing it at the height of the character. I mean,
yeah.
I would love to know. Actually, I'm gonna.
That doll's worth something.
Wait, can we just see if he'll pick up real quick? I would love to know how much that doll. This is a true sign of friendship.
How much?
How much he made from the doll?
Oh, I'm just gonna tell you a story. They're always ripping the black man off with his dolls and his music. Both.
Jay, pick up. I don't know what other sitcom character, like Mario Lopez probably could have had a AC Slater doll that girls could, but you know what I'm saying, but have like, I don't know, maybe have the hand be almost like
call has been forwarded.
The hand be almost in like dildo shape,
So, Kung Fu Grip.
Kung Fu Grip.
So Jaleel, you brought up on stage.
Yes. With Dave, and we did Dave came up by himself for about 40 minutes, and then Jaleel came back.
Wait,
up on
Chappelle.
Stage. Chappelle, yeah.
Right, because there's Coulier.
There's Dave Coulier, yeah.
Now, is he doing okay? Last I heard, Dave Coulier had cancer or something.
I thought he beat it.
Oh, he did?
He cut it out.
All right. Well, we got to check that.
Yeah. I think I saw some. We're clapping. Andrew's clapping.
Did he? He did okay.
Coolio's in good shape. Or Coulier.
Yeah, Coolio not as much. But all right.
By the way, how many times does that slip up happen?
Same dude.
What? Yeah. Dude, is that a Finkel is Einhorn? Remember from Ace Ventura? Mm-hmm. Einhorn is Finkel. What if Coulier was Coolio?
God, that's funny. He could probably do a Coolio.
Hasn't there been a list of those? Like, it turns out Hasselhoff is actually like Dolly. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been these conspiracy theories about somebody. Also, the double identity. I think there was that for Michael Moore, the documentarian. I think they said like he was also
out of work lesbian trucker.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, something like Wow, you had that locked and loaded.
I did because that's what I call him. He's stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, but on April 24th he's cancer free. So that's
stage 3.
He's now cancer free.
It's stage 3
as of April,
not stage 9. Like
right.
like some people have talked about.
Yes, not like Biden. I got a question for you. I wanted to bring up. I thought about this. I have my old guy thoughts, and Kimmel. Kimmel sent me a text over the weekend that his daughter had her first child, and then I thought, man, we're getting old, because I remember going to his house that he was renting in Reseda when Katie was 2.
Wow.
Or so, just running around, in her Pampers. And I said, Jimmy's got some favorite old stories, but this is one of them. I said, it seems like only yesterday I was building her a playhouse, which I did. He rented a house in Reseda off an alley, and he wanted to build a playhouse, and I was a carpenter.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's anything for you, Jimmy, because I'm a carpenter. I didn't have any money, but he was helping me get on the radio.
Yeah.
So I said, we'll build this playhouse.
Great move.
Build her playhouse. But I said, it seemed like only yesterday I was building her playhouse and pissing in her sandbox, which is Jimmy caught me on the side of his house taking a leak one night after a few beers, and I was pissing in the sandbox because it sort of made sense to me, like a cat would use a litter box. Yeah. But then
a sandbox is a litter box for a drunk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
it's a famous Coolio quote.
I remember, here's how far gone I was. He was disgusted by it, and I was like, what's the big whoop?
Yeah.
I had to piss. I went outside. I had a few beers. And I also used to park on his lawn, which pissed him off too. But I always thought it was funny, to pull right onto someone's lawn and get out of your car.
Move.
It's a power. It's like alpha. Yeah. All right. So, but he told me I'd run over the sprinklers and would break the sprinklers. But anyway, I puss it. So I said to him, only yesterday I was pissing in Katie's sandbox. And then he wrote back, we'll laugh, whatever. And then I thought about it, and I thought, a sandbox. That was a form of entertainment when I was growing up. A box filled with dirt was like, go play.
Yeah.
And it's also sort of insane if I was trying to pitch that to my kids. Like, hey, good times ahead. I found a place that has a bunch of sand, and you can sit in it. And all it did is go up the crack of your ass, get in your fucking shoes, get in your eyes. What was even so good about sand? I know what was sort of good about it is you could go down the slide and land in it and not break an ankle, I guess. But just the notion that from, 500 years to about 10 minutes ago, my kids, it's all laser tag on a trampoline world, and everything is just an e-ticket everywhere. The idea that there was just a place carved out filled with sand, and that was a good time. That was enough to keep kids busy for a day.
We had to get creative pre-iPad. And also, I think there was something about, bringing the beach home.
Yeah.
Maybe that, right? A little bit of...
Yeah, I grew up in the valley, and just the novelty of sitting in sand was... it was all the worst part of the beach without the cool weather and the ocean and the hot chicks and bikinis.
Yeah.
It was there was a part of the beach that gets stuck in your ass.
Yeah.
But still, just the idea that was simple and pleasurable and a treat. Like, hey, should we go roll around in sand today? It's only Tuesday. We should wait till Saturday.
Oh, yeah. It was a big weekend activity.
And you just go sit in a box of sand. The idea, Jimmy's house was not at a park. It was his second house in Reseda. And he moved further away from K-Rock. I remember, deeper valley, which I told him not to do. But he ended up renting another house further away. And it was on the side of the house, and it was just 2x6s screwed together, 4 foot by 4 foot, and just sand. And the idea that the kid would just sit in Reseda in July, 114 degrees outside, just sit in a pile of sand.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine telling my kids, put down the Nintendo, get away from the 70-inch flat screen. Here's a miniature plastic shovel and a piece of Tupperware. Go sit in this box of sand.
Yeah, you're going to get third-degree burns from the plastic just rubbing up against your thighs, unless that's what you intended, unless that's why you're out there. It also, it's where do you go from there? I guess, what did we do? I guess slip and slide maybe came after that. You had to get out of the sandbox almost the same way.
It was unclear what the activity was once we sat in the sandbox.
Was it choose your own adventure? You could start just jerking off, or you could fucking, make some friends. You could build a castle. You could involve some of the bugs and creatures that found their way in there and make a habitat for them.
For me, it was the shock absorbing part of the sand that I liked. You could launch yourself off a swing and land in it and not bust your foot up.
Yeah. Yeah. You might still break a tailbone from the hard impact, but
yeah, my young life was either sand or asphalt. Everything in the valley was just asphalted over, and it just sucked.
No water parks?
When water parks were like a bridge too far for my family, that would have entailed money and a drive. Because nothing was right here. You had to go to Irwindale or something. We didn't do things that either cost money or plugged in or brought joy. Those were like the 3 no-fly zones with my family. We'd have to vet them very carefully.
Oh my God!
So,
have you been to one since as an adult?
I went with Jimmy and his cousin Sal, and his cousin Sal pissed on me in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Which I thought is funny.
Well,
I didn't have any
just
problems
prepping you
with it.
for the water, which is just
Yeah. It's more of an acclimation than it was a urination. Yeah. I went with Jimmy and his cousin, his kids once, and I remember. See, what happened to me with water parks is what. No, it's not a molestation
story.
Who touched you? It's what happened with Outback Steakhouse. I was too poor to eat at an Outback Steakhouse my whole life. And then at some point I got rich and I jumped over them and went to Morton's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I left them in the dust.
I hopped over Outback Steak. And I wouldn't go there now. I'm too wealthy to go to Outback.
You had a slip up. You almost said Outback Skank House.
Skank House.
Which was a restaurant at the time that they were trying to get going. Everyone wants to franchise out.
Once Hooters took off, there's a lot of Johnny-come-latelys. So I skipped over water parks.
Good for you.
My whole beginning life, too poor, too downtrodden. They weren't ubiquitous. And then at some point, they became popular. But it's too late. I was rich and old by then.
So you went from above ground pool to a Four Seasons like in Maui.
I went to my neighbor Max Truex dug a pool in his backyard somewhere around when I was 12.
Cool.
So I got the neighbor pool, and then Eddie Gravich had an above ground pool.
Of course he did.
On the other side. So I used a lot of neighbors' pools. I did with neighbors what I did with my friends' pantries. I would raid the pantry and raid the pool.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have a pantry and we didn't have a pool, but other people had pantries and pools. And sometimes I'd do a double header. Like, let's swing by the pantry, we'll load up on space sticks, and then we'll go out to your pool.
What a great summer.
Everyone else's pantry and everyone else's pool.
Yeah.
Pantry sounds exotic to a Carolla. Like, this is a whole closet for food. Like, we have cupboards. We have pantries.
The first pantry I ever saw that I was impressed by was the Hildebrands. And they were the family that got king-size everything from Costco. So when you trick-or-treated at their house, it was king-size everything.
Payday?
Everything. But because there was always, a few houses that gave out, nickels or raisins or dental dams or whatever it be, things that you could get at the store. And then Costco was also just popping off at that time.
Yeah.
So not everybody was even shopping there yet because it almost kind of was like you got money if you got a Costco card.
Well, you were young dicks and tits, right?
Penis and tits kid.
Right? So you like to eat a little bit.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Oh, I was at the Hildebrands Monday through Friday. I mean, he was the first one to get Sega when it came out, Super Nintendo.
Uh-huh.
They had pinball machines, a basketball court. They had the above ground pool, which, by the way, if you're looking for a good YouTube rabbit hole, they feature Above Ground Pool Falls Apart is a great YouTube rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you're looking for another one, McDonald's MILF morphs into a werewolf and climbs through drive-through is also it's a longer title, but it's worth the wait. But America's Funniest Home Videos would start to feature those pools falling apart during the Saget era. Oh, man.
Fat guy doing a cannonball.
Fat guy always did it. It was always a fat guy.
Yeah. I realize, with the video games, see, for me, I never had any of that stuff, but I spent most of my childhood standing next to dudes wanting to play one ball from their pinball or wanting to use their at-home football or whatever. Yeah. That was always we got a pool broke. It's bound to happen. It has to happen. It's math. There's a there's a math problem with above ground pools.
By the way, summer's canceled when this happens. I mean, and to be the one that does, oh God, yeah.
But here's the thing about above ground pools. It's a perfect storm.
Mm-hmm.
The perfect storm is we need a pool for poor people. So we can't charge that much. And in order to really make an above, you can stop showing video. But above,
Jesus, just at a fucking Bally's Fitness Center?
Enough, if you want to make a pool
affordable,
cheap
materials,
it's got to be cheap and lightweight, right? So, but here's the thing. Water's water. It's 11 pounds a gallon. It is what it is. It doesn't matter whether it's Leonardo DiCaprio's pool that's in Maui or your above ground pool that you got from the Gemco in the return aisle because it had a dent in it.
Yeah.
It's just water.
Yeah.
Same weight, same math. When a fat guy does a cannonball, same displacement, same dynamics, you know?
Yes.
So not only do you have a pool for people who shouldn't own a pool, like, you ever see when a rich athlete, some athlete from the inner city, signs a contract, he gets a $100 million bonus, and he buys a Ferrari?
Yeah.
And then, like, 3 months later, there's McDonald's wrappers on the dash and shit, and he let his girlfriend borrow it, and there's a shopping cart hooked onto the bumper, and she's dragging it down the street because he's not really meant to have it.
Right.
He's not meant to have it. These are
quick.
people who have pools who aren't meant to be pool owners.
Gotcha.
Pool owner needs a certain amount of income, certain amount of sobriety. You got to hire people to come change the diatomaceous earth and stuff like that, put the right salt, check the pH levels and stuff like that. This is white trash, poor people who have a pool that's poorly constructed out of cheap materials, but all the dynamics. There's still 700 tons of liquid in there, mixed with drinking and bad ideas, and no maintenance. Because the first thing these guys do is go in, yell at their brother, you're supposed to change the filter. No, you're supposed to drain it and do that. And that never happens. And thus, enter Saget.
What do you
Enter Sagman, the greatest Metallica song ever. Oh, someone's got to do Enter Sagman.
Oh my
and you could
God.
yell at the twins.
What do you think white trash people love more? Microwave dinners, above ground pools, or domestic violence? Hold that thought. We'll be right back. What do you think it is?
I want to say, I thought about this yesterday.
I know you did.
To the inventor of the microwave, I salute you. You've impacted my life.
More so than the iPhone.
More than any school teacher, more than any family member, more than any counselor, more than any religion. I like Kimmel, but he doesn't help me 3 times a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a good dude, but he doesn't do it all day, every day.
Do you have a good microwave? And that's the first time I've asked a grown man.
Yeah, I got a good microwave, but even a decent microwave is a good microwave.
Sure.
All microwaves are good.
Yeah.
And in terms of like bang for your buck, like I tell people all the time, you don't need a $10,000 watch. You can get a $100 watch. It's fine. It's just as good, whatever. But if you're going to, when you're going with something like a microwave, get a good one, because 3 times a day for the rest of your fucking life, you will use that microwave. When I'm gone, I've asked that my urn be put in the microwave, and I go for one last ride. Did you know that?
That's
one
brilliant.
last ride. I said one last ride, baby.
Oh my,
yeah,
what's
not in a
the song?
Metallica urn.
What's the song they play?
Enter Saget by Metallica.
One last ride. Yeah, dude.
Microwave is the most
on what mode?
Literally
Popcorn,
more
pizza?
impactful to me than any other piece of technology. I mean, let's think. I mean, car's great, phone's great, but the phone hasn't been in my life my whole life. My car's broke down. The microwave never disappointed.
Everybody's put a cold piece of pizza in the microwave. Everybody's heated up some soup that they left out for 20 minutes. Everybody's fuck, dude. Easy Mac. I mean, I could go down the list of products that adjusted for microwave use.
So you had a house. Did you have houses? I knew it because I grew up like a raccoon in a dumpster. Like I was going where the food was.
Oh yeah.
You know, there wasn't any in the Carolla house, but I knew who had the food. And I would go over there and involve myself in their food. And so you must have had the house, like the winter houses that had the good
winter
food
houses
in there.
The Ariemas had, they were an Italian family. They had good stuff. The Brights lived on the Garmeyers. Boy, who else? There was a German kid named Knud. And he lived with his grandparents, and this was like the trouble kid. Dude, when Facebook first came around, he might have been my first search. Canute, K-N-U-D. This kid was the trouble kid, but he was also fun, and he had these German grandparents who would call him Canute Man, and he'd go over there, and the lights were always off, and they always had sun-kissed, and they might have been up to no good, but nobody really knew. He was the first one to show me a porno, which, man, it was all Bush, dude. I don't know if that was the title or if that's a Judy Blume book, but it was like
I was
Pube
waiting.
City, and I was the mayor.
I had a weird thought last night, just rando. You know, you have those rando weird childhood thoughts, like, what was up with that, or what was that?
Yeah.
I was thinking back to a family I knew, Rob and Brant, two brothers, and their family had something like that I thought only the Rockefellers had, which is a fridge in the garage.
Oh, yeah.
And the fridge in the garage was stocked with like Schweppes and different stuff. And I was like, and I could remember like sort of circling around the fridge in the garage and like leaning against it, looking around like, is the dad around?
It was the adult fridge. It was
the adult sacred fridge, but I wanted what was in there, but I didn't want to get busted. I was so scared that the mom would come around the corner as I was opening the fridge because it was this sacred garage adult fridge. Yeah. But in it was like all these great drinks.
Yeah, drinks that weren't for the main fridge.
Not main fridge.
The main fridge was almost display, almost like masking, almost like a decoy fridge.
Yeah, this was the adult fridge, and I didn't want to be busted, but there it sat. And I remember thinking to myself, like, who has the kind of cash to have a second refrigerator in your garage? Yeah. So there were the houses you knew.
Yeah.
And did your friends eat as much as you? Because I had a problem in that when I got to their house, I was ready to strap on the feed bag, and they were like, let's go out and play shoot hoop. And I'd go, whoa, let's get some pudding going.
I knew there was one house I went to, and I knew I was eating too much because the dad said, hey, after that Pop-Tart, you got time for a titty fuck? And I said, all right, I should probably slow down and put the muffins away. I mean, most of them knew, I think. And then I think I just had enough wherewithal after a while to go, like, I'd watch the looks that the parents would give me if I went back for like a third granola bar.
Right.
They'd just be like, maybe a glass of water is not a bad idea. But yeah, we had some. What did my mom get? My mom, when we went to Costco once, we got a...
Was your house that people would go to eat?
Not really. Only for, I think, snacks. Every now and then she'd let me at a store get some big snack. And I got I think at Costco or even just a grocery store, get like a 10-pound bag of Jolly Ranchers. It was only like maybe $14. And it was Jolly Ranchers for the year.
Right.
And we had it sitting on this, in this house we were in, had a little, almost looked like a diner booth in the kitchen. And my friend Avery, who was a neighbor... We were very sitcom style, the way we'd go into each other's houses. And sometimes I'd just hear the door open, him run upstairs, and he'd take a handful of Jolly Ranchers and then run out.
Right.
But you know, it was a lot of microwavable stuff, a lot of Chef Boyardee, I need to, you know, send them a thank you letter or a cease and desist to stop killing. I mean, nothing is good probably in that can of Beefaroni, but I once went. Adam Devine and I were on tour, and we partied with the Kings of Leon one night because he was friends with one of the guys in the band, and we got fucked up. I drank way too much tequila. At one point, the drummer was like, "Save some for the rest of us," and I just laughed maniacally and kept pouring shots.
Right.
It was one of my first times where I was like, "Oh, I can't. I need to somebody needs to tell me to stop in public," and I got back to the hotel. It was like a Holiday Inn Express. I saw 3 cans of Beefaroni on the shelf. I grabbed them. I took them.
Like when you walked in.
Yes. You know the hotel snack lounge?
Yes, that fucking snack
I grabbed them.
lounge.
I put them in the microwave for like 19 and a half minutes, which is 17 minutes too long. Right. Boom, explosion goes off. I fucking take them out. There's Beefaroni spilling out of the bowl. I trip. I didn't turn the lights off because I thought I could fucking see in the dark. I trip over the carpet, whatever. Beefaroni everywhere, all over the bed. I was too fucked up. I started like kind of spooning some of it into the bowl. I ate a little bit. I vampired down. I fall asleep. I get a call from the front desk at like 7:30 a.m. Mr. Ray, is everything okay? I go, yeah, why? They go, because the maids came in at about 6:30 and found blood all over the bed sheets. And at first I started freaking out because I'm like, who came in and bled on the bed while I was sleeping? And then I was like, oh no. And then I literally said to the guy, I go, oh no, Beefaroni sheets. And he goes, what? And then I realized, oh yeah, you can't just say no Beefaroni sheets to somebody and expect them to understand what you're talking about. And so then I put two and two together, and I was like, dude, I tripped over the bed, Beefaroni went everywhere. He's like, that's all good and dandy. You're gonna need to come down and pay for those Beefaronis. I go, why? He goes, we have you on security footage walking into the fucking Holiday Inn at like 3:30, grabbing 3 cans of Beefaroni. He showed it to me because he was a nice guy. I grabbed 3 cans because nobody, sometimes no one's there monitoring the hotel.
Okay, listen.
I picked up 3 cans.
Rules.
I fist pumped it to myself, and then he said I tripped into the elevator, and then he's like, "Thank God nothing happened to you." So, but I had to go down and pay for him. But
there's a little rule that's weird, which is like you fly on a Southwest flight or any flight. Sometimes you're sitting in coach, and you go, "Give me a Miller Lite." They give you a Miller Lite, and half the time, if you don't pay, like, sorry, we don't take cash, we need a credit card, we will fucking land this plane in Phoenix if you don't pay for the shit. And then other times it's like, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, kind of, which is it? Like, how expensive is this? Do you really need the money? Half the time I get waved off, and the other time they need the money now.
Yes.
And the hotel little sundry snack bar, the amount of times that I've picked up the water, the soda, or whatever, and I walked out and nobody's there.
I think it's 8 Mississippi, and then you can walk away.
And then what am I supposed to do? Like pull like a filling out and set it on the counter? Like,
you could.
There's nobody around, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to steal this, but on the other hand, no one's around.
Yeah.
And
I know it's a conscious thing. I mean,
right.
I definitely was at a hotel recently and did that, and I walked away. I think I grabbed Tums and a Gatorade, and I started walking away, and I just go, fuck.
Right.
And I walk over to the front desk, because I literally walked by, and I was about to walk out, and I was like, nobody cares. And then I walked up, I go, can you put these on room 736? And she was like, of course.
Right.
It's just more of a conscious thing, but they don't care. And also, they're I don't think they're making their money on the snack bar.
Tell me where we had our after party in Phoenix.
Oh, the Carry On.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they just won Best Bar.
Oh, really?
I believe in America, Best Bar Experience.
Awesome.
So there's these guys, my boy Teddy in Arizona and his crew. They opened this private, like 70s private pilot or private plane experience. It's like a bar experience where you get on board. They've got these, simulator screens on the sides. You take off, you fly for a good 90 minutes, you land. There's pilot announcements and martini time and fucking, enjoy the ride. We're traveling in a flight. And I do all the announcements and all the pilot stuff. There's a phone you can pick up at one point that you can tap into the cockpit, which is me just improvising for about 30 minutes of just like, fuck, I should have called my wife.
After my 7th martini with Sam Morrell, I thought I was airborne at a certain point.
We thought you were flying.
You buy into it.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome, man.
It's incredible. And they have they brought in a bunch of snacks for us, and the staff is gorgeous, and they're all dressed to the nines like they work on a 70s. It feels like it. And it's in this bar called I think Renenwolf, and they have another, which is a great restaurant, and then there's another little like library bar. But this whole thing is cool. You have to reserve these 90-minute flights. It's called Carry
awesome.
On. Yeah,
I love it. Only in America.
Yeah, that was a
all
blast.
right, Ja Rule is here.
Wow.
So,
Dear Diary.
You're gonna hang out, right, Adam Ray?
I have to. I can't believe I'm gonna meet Ja Rule. Dude, comedy leads you to wild things.
There he is. We'll take a quick break. We'll bring in Ja Rule right after this. Homes.com. Some might say Homes.com is the best home shopping site. It may be. Homes.com's comprehensive and transparent agent directory. Or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need to find the right home. Homes.com. We've done your homework. Morgan & Morgan. Here's a dirty little secret the insurance industry may not want you to know. They like to keep this stuff under the wraps. Insurance company, well, the companies profit by holding on to your money for as long as possible. Yeah, it's a grift. So after an accident, they might do whatever they can do to delay or deny your claim. This way, they can keep those profits growing. Morgan & Morgan fights hard against these corporations to make sure that you get every dollar you deserve. I like these Morgan & Morgan guys. I think I saw one of them on Fox talking some policy, and I liked it. Anyway, I've talked to these guys. I met with these guys. They're good folk. When Morgan & Morgan takes a case, they're almost always going after the insurance companies and not the individuals at fault. So they're going after the man, not the little man. There's a reason why Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury firm. Am I right, Dawson?
Hiring the wrong firm could be disastrous. Hiring the right firm could substantially increase your settlement. With Morgan & Morgan, it's easy to get started, and their fee is free unless they win. Just visit forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. That's forthepeople.com/Adam or dial #law #529. This is a paid advertisement. It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Adam, Tim from Jersey. Found out today one of my coworkers is on bereavement leave because her fucking cat died. We're all doomed. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Ja Rule's in studio. He's on a tour with, it's called Where the Party At, and it's with Nelly. He's out there, and also his new spirit, new premium whiskey brand, Amber and Opal Spirits as well.
Shit, I got to try some of this. Is that what you're sipping on?
Yeah, I'm sipping on it, man. I think
we need to get a little taste.
Yeah, can we get
you got
glasses with some ice?
Please do.
It's rude to not take. If somebody has their own booze, man, you gotta.
Listen, man. I need that. I need that Adam Carolla stamp. So the only way to get it is for them to taste it.
Did you have on my autograph series of butt plugs, by the way, Adam?
Yeah, I have tried. I'm wearing one right now.
Yeah, just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Ja Rule. Where did the whiskey come from, or when did that start? How long's it been going on?
Well, we just now getting started. We're brand new, spirit. We've been out maybe about 6 months now, something like that. But we've been working on it for about a year and a half.
And for you, how's it all begin? Like, where do you start? How old are you when you start?
Whiskey?
No. Music, rap.
Music, oh man. When I started rapping, it wasn't as lucrative of a business, as it is these days. I did it as a hobby. I did it for fun, beat like that type of thing, in the lunchrooms, and we all get around the ciphers and rhyme.
It's weird. All right, there's no barrier to entry to rap.
Yeah.
So if you I grew up with poor people, and nobody played hockey or lacrosse, because if you played hockey or lacrosse, you needed all the equipment.
Right.
You needed helmets and pads and sticks and stuff and bags and duffels and parents that drove you to things. Yeah. Nobody had any of that. So we didn't have that. And then I realized every time I drive past a park and I see 400 Mexicans playing soccer, I was like, oh, it's the cheapest way you can keep a whole bunch of young people busy. It's like it evolved. It's from
basketball is the same.
Yeah,
thing.
It's a cheap version. It doesn't involve having swimming pools or helmets or horses or anything.
Or
it's
clubs.
Just cheap. Rap is sort of that. It's sort of like soccer. It's the soccer of sports.
Or the basketball of sports.
Basketball's that way.
You just need two turntables and a microphone, as we used to say. But it really started from grassroots. Like I said, us beating on tables and
We putting lyrics to those beats, or we just
exactly. That's what it was.
And what were you
It'd be beating
rapping
on
about?
tables. Whatever.
The shit
We
that's
used to play
happening in the
games
lunchroom?
we used to play games we used to rap about whatever you see and things like that. It was like lyrical exercise, if you will. You know what I mean? So to see hip hop come from those
it's wild.
Very grassroots, early stages to where it is now is kind of impressive.
It's how you do have to get reps, though, right? Like even for comedians, we just got to get on stage and start throwing darts and about shit that we only know. So I'm sure whatever you were, rapping about at that point was just like what? Well, I mean, do you even remember?
Foolishness. You know what I mean? Foolishness. I think my first rap, it was like...
Who's getting fingered on the bus?
It was like Sally from the Valley. Shit like that.
I listen to that.
Well, how old were you when you...
Probably about 15.
Right.
16.
Is that when you remember doing what? Like, do you remember the time, or I guess the place where you like put a string of something together, where not only you were like, oh fuck, that sounded pretty good, but people around you were like, oh shit, and like.
Well, that's how it kind of started to evolve. You know, we doing these ciphers and stuff like that at school. You know, on the corner before we get to school, stuff like that. We walk to school, rhyming and stuff, and then as it started to progress and we did it more and more, people started to say, you know, Jaws, you know, they didn't call me Ja then, I was left then, but they were like, Left's pretty good, you know, Left could rap, you know, Left could rhyme. And then that's how it kind of started to you know, get into my head, like, you know, maybe I am pretty good at this.
Yeah, you need that outside perspective, right?
You do sometimes, because you know, sometimes, especially when you're just playing around with it. You know, some people get serious at things and they think they're really good at something that they're really bad at because they're serious about it. But it doesn't make you good just because you take it serious.
It's almost better to not be taking it serious because then people take it serious for you, and then
it's kind of true.
And you're like, you're just having fun and trying to explore, and not filling yourself with the heady concerns of like,
that's
I need to book a show
That's
first.
an amazing take on it, because, you know, had I been, you know, like, this is what I'm doing, I'm getting into the rap game, you know, it might have had a different take. People may have had a different take on it. It may have rubbed people differently than, you know, I'm just a dude like everybody else. And
well, people need to sit back and watch their kids and see what they naturally do. You know,
this is true.
Some kids want to just work with animals and take care of animals, and some people want to rap, and some people want to mess with computers. Like, just step back and see what they do on their off time naturally. And then that'll be what they should be doing.
Absolutely.
What they should be gravitating toward. Because other than that, you're trying to push them in some direction they don't want to go.
Soar with your strengths.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I tell my kids this all the time. It's a simple theory. If you're good at something, you can probably be great at it if you practice.
Right.
If you're not good at something, the best you're probably ever going to be is good.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So you soar with your strengths. Whatever you're naturally good at, put your time and effort into that, and you can probably be one of those 1% people that do it exceptionally well.
Right.
You know, but us as humans, our nature is to kind of correct our faults, you know, and do the things we're not good at. Like, all right, I can do that already, so let me try this over here, you know, instead of saying, like, I do this really well, let me hone in on this and be the best at that.
Do your kids listen to you? And then also, there's a third.
They're my kids, of course not.
There's another element, which is a little ordinary misery is good. Like a little bored, a little no air conditioning, a little I got to go outside, a little I got to make my own fun.
Yeah.
I got to entertain myself. That's necessary. It's all gone now.
It is. The kids don't have that. I mean, I can't imagine a world where we had like the games that they had. Like the games that we had, it was like, all right, I'm going outside to play. You play that shit for an hour, you're like, all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't, with these games are like real life shit. So it looks amazing. It plays, uh-oh, we got one. We got a taster here. Cheers, fellas.
Yeah.
By the way, dude.
Tastes wonderful, man.
Pleasure to meet you, John.
Very,
I got to tell you, man.
Spicy.
Gotta nose it a little bit.
Yes, nose it.
So let me just give you a little bit of it's a honey botanical whiskey. Mm-hmm. So we really wanted to make it for the whiskey curious, that people that are not per se whiskey drinkers, but you know, may want to try whiskey. We're a great entry point.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
it's a little sweet.
Yeah,
it's smooth, but it's, you know, it still has a strongness to it that whiskey enthusiasts can also, you know, love.
You fucking nailed it, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Delicious.
Thank you, man. I
also,
appreciate that, man.
I get down.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna have to sip this.
Yo, and it makes amazing cocktails. Like if you like old fashions and like gold rushes, well, it's amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, it's like there's beers that are like stout and they're like Guinness, and then there's IPAs which are a little fruitier, a little sweeter, nicer citrusy notes, and that's easier for the first time beer person than the stout stuff that's black.
Exactly.
Essentially.
Exactly.
I have to do a quick cheers to Ja. The first time I grinded and dry humped with an older classman girl was to Living It Up at Shortcrest High School.
My guy.
Living It Up, man. I'll never forget it. I'll say her first name, Brooke. You know where you are. You know what you did.
Bumping and grinding.
Dude,
up on Adam, baby.
Bro,
that's what you do.
I turned from, I might have been bar mitzvah at 13, but I was a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny.
It's a banger, dude.
You know, it's so funny because at 13, no group is further away from manhood than Jews.
Yeah.
Like when LeBron James was 13, I could see him. Yes. I would sell him whiskey when he was LeBron James. But Jewish guys, mouthful of braces, glasses on, funky hair.
Yeah, not happening.
Nate Wittenberg that was my friend who was at 13 looked like he was 9.
Yeah.
That's not Hispanic. I knew Hispanic guys with mustaches.
Did you have
13?
We're a little bit a different age, but Ad, what was your Ja Rule equivalent of having like the dances when the dances got turned up a notch? You know what I'm saying? I mean, Living It Up was that 90,
maybe 2000?
Yeah. Okay,
it was. So things are cyclical. And that when I was in high school, school dances were out of vogue. School dances were cool in the 50s. Maybe they had a renaissance in the 90s, and they were uncool.
Oh, shit. You missed the boat.
Yeah, I missed the boat because it wasn't cool. It's almost like captain of the football team was cool in the 50s, but 1982, when I was captain of the football team, not cool. They were into punk rock. So it was like a weird rebellious.
A weird moment there.
And also, it's L.A., so that was more sort of punk rock than it was punk jock. Like there wasn't jock and Letterman. Like a Letterman, you would have been a dork in a Letterman's jacket in my high school in the early 80s.
That's crazy.
So there was no sock hop or anything. It was considered for old squares.
What year were you in?
I graduated North Hollywood High in 82.
Okay.
And all that stuff was like bygone era, that happy day shit.
You missed out.
I missed out, and then I guess
a lot of over the
back.
pants HJs going on in the Short Crest lunchroom.
Yeah, we didn't. Oh God, I'm trying to think. I mean, I didn't really pull a lot of tail in high school. I didn't. I was insecure. I didn't like myself. I was
Dude, dances were also for. I mean, it's wild to think. I'm sure you know this. Just how instrumental, your music, has been for that. But it's like, dude, when you tap into songs that you feel whether you know the words to them or not, like getting the confidence to go out and dance to them was first and foremost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And liking it enough to want to participate, and then whatever happens after that is.
Let me tell you, approaching women has changed. These kids they don't even know how to approach a woman. They don't know how to talk to a woman. They fucking on their computers. They're in the house
or doing it through messages.
They don't know how to really engage with women or properly. It's weird. So
I don't even know if they want the liability of talking to women anymore. Like, I think
days
half the guys
it's a little crazy these days.
They're worried about getting Me Too'd or making the wrong move.
Because if you're a hot guy and you try to get at a girl or court a woman, it's just that. It's courting. You know what I mean? But if she doesn't like you, it's fucking harassment. Sexual harassment. This is crazy.
I mean, I have a rule of thumb. If you hug a woman with big boobs, don't say good out loud. And other than that, you should be fine,
Yeah, that's the problem is it's in the eye of the beholder. And women, I've seen it a million times, at the workplace. At the workplace, there's cool guy and there's creepy guy. And if cool guy comes in and says to the hot chick, looks like someone had some fun this weekend, she goes, "Oh, get out of here, Steve." And they walk away, and then she turns pink a little. If creepy guy comes in and goes, "That's a nice dress," I was like, "All right, I'm going to HR." Yeah, fuck you. I'm freaked out.
His intention was probably more sincere.
I'm saying
this is the reality.
It's all creepy guy versus cool guy, and the problem with creepy guys is they never know they're creepy guys. That's why that's how you're a creepy guy. And then
I don't want to call him the creepy guy because then that makes him the creepy guy.
To the woman.
I mean, they just. Maybe,
not a season.
There you go. That's a better. Not a season.
Needs a handful more reps. Needs some deodorant.
That's it.
Little confidence. Maybe a PlayStation.
They're work in progress guy.
Yeah, work in progress. I like that. A WOP.
Yeah.
He's the original WOP.
He's a WOP.
We'll be right back.
I always do this. It's my funnest hypothetical question for any woman. Any woman will go, they've worked at a place with super creepy guy and cool guy, and I always say to them, here's my ultimate hypothetical question. The ultimate hypothetical question is when people do one answer and then change their answer and then change back again and start asking if they can drink. That's how you know it's a good one. I go, look, what would you rather? Sleep with creepy guy, one night of sex with creepy guy. Now, when it's over, he doesn't know it and nobody knows it. It's erased from everyone's memory, but you sleep with him and you know it. Or you don't sleep with creepy guy and everyone in the office knows you did, including creepy guy. Which one do you go for? And they go, I don't care. I wouldn't sleep with them. And I go, at the Christmas party, at the picnic, everybody in the office knows. And then they'll go, can I drink? And then that's when I know I got them. They'll toggle. They'll go back and forth a little bit, but it is the ultimate, and it's how that you always know creepy guy because you just say to the office chick, imagine sleeping with Phil or whatever. And they go, they freak out. But it's not fair to them. They're just guys with male pattern baldness and bad orthodontia.
What would be the equivalent of that on the female side? What would be like creepy girl? Who would she be?
We don't.
I mean, it wouldn't be creepy girl. It'd just be like hot girl, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
we don't really factor the personality in enough to be creeped out.
Yeah, we just guys are guys. We just kind of what you look like is.
We're not too picky.
Yeah.
Well, here's another
stalker.
Here's a hypothetical for both of you that we need to figure out now.
Okay.
And Dawson, you got to help me with this because I can't remember. But I did a numbers game, which is you got to be in a threesome, right? And the threesome is I think the numbers got to add up to 10 or 11 or something like that. Do you go with an 8 and a 2?
Oh, I got you.
Do you go with 2 5s? Like 2 5s feels like, I don't know, what are we even doing here?
I already have my answer.
Yeah.
Do you go
1 and 9?
Do you go with a 1 and a 9?
Yeah.
But I mean,
one's got all the teeth, one has none.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I might,
That's it.
2 5s is not bad.
Yeah, that's probably the move. That's
not
probably the move.
Maybe 7-3.
2 5s is like kissing your sister. It's like tying. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing here?
If one doesn't have all her teeth, does she at least is she more mobile than the nut? Like stretched out, maybe like.
But here's the other thing.
Give and take.
But here's the other thing. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah. So those 2 5s could be 2 10s to you, depending on what you see.
No, but here's the rub. It's.
Shut that down.
The rub is there's no
trying to connect. Jesus Christ.
There's no fooling the great magnet. The 1 is a 1 in your eyes. You know what I mean? If there's someone who reminds you of your mom or something. It's like it's your version of a 1 and it's your version of a 9.
That's all it is.
Right? Because for you, a 9 may be Asian. And for me, maybe Swedish. Sure. And for you, maybe black. You know what I mean? It's our version of a 9 and our version of a 1.
Yeah, I think I'd go like 9-1, 8-2. Because then you can at least tell your partners and friends, like, I did the charity work. Look at the look at the 9.
Another friend.
So you go high, low.
You gotta go high, low. You gotta go high, low.
Yeah.
Everybody can understand high, low.
I wouldn't go 8-2. If I'm going, I go 9-1. If I'm going
you gotta go 9-1. That's the.
And then what order do you go in?
9-9.
You got to start with the. You start with it. No, you don't start with the 9.
Give one a Sudoku and see how she does with that.
9-9 and 1 watches. I don't know.
Wow. You got to be equal time, equal effort.
Jesus.
You got to start with the 1.
All right, then you got to start with the 1. Yeah,
you got to start with the 1.
You got to get the rub out, and then you're on beast mode time. Then. Yeah.
And when you're done with the 1, can she stay?
Yeah, go ahead, fucking hang out.
That was definitely not convincing. Wow, I saw him calling the Uber as he said, hang out for a bit.
Listen, somebody's got to keep the music going, keep the drinks flowing, and the weed blowing. So go ahead, man. That's it.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Oh, hey, I'm wearing their hat right now. Well, isn't that serendipitous? That's right. They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. O'Reilly Auto Parts, well, they offer friendly, helpful service and the parts knowledge you need for all your maintenance and repair needs. I love these guys. Always been a fan. Always gone to O'Reilly Auto Parts. Always worked on my own cars. Got old Nissan trucks, Isuzu Troopers, old Toyota Supra I used to work on. So whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice, you'll find the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are knowledgeable, helpful, and best of all, they are friendly. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today, or you can visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
How much do you think because you were a part of that MTV TRL, like that pop off, right? Like, and nowadays, obviously, with like social media and just how much quicker somebody can get recognized or get exposure. There's I think a blessing and a curse to that, right? Of getting and same with us with comedians, as far as like having a clip pop off before you're ready to actually back it up. How do you, I guess, what's your take on, because you got to experience a more genuine, like cream rises to the top, like there's only a few spots to really get seen versus now everybody's got the chance?
I'm torn with this. Because on one hand, I really get it. Independent artistry is everything. Independent artists deserve to have their moment and their time, or to be able to have an even playing field against the machine.
Right.
I get it. But then on the other side, after you see so many bad independent artists, you're like, fuck. The gatekeeper is also needed because it handpicked the best out of we had the pick of the litter. It wasn't like everybody was thinking they're an artist that can do this. Kind of the same thing to comedians. Well, you guys were always kind of like that. There was no label that signed comedians or anything like that. But you had to go through the circuit, and if you were good, you fucking made it. If you weren't, you didn't get to go online and be funny for 3 seconds or whatever. And that's like baked in funny. You're not really fucking funny. Anybody can be. I can be funny for 3 seconds. Trust me. You know what I mean? So I think as much as I do love the independence of that, an artist to be able to express themselves in that way, I also believe that artistry should be nurtured and there's something there that you know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean in that I hear the story all the time. Adam, you probably hear it as well. You get these guys, they do this stuff online. They only have a few minutes of material. It catches fire, and then the club books them.
And then
they don't have an hour.
No.
They got 10 minutes of stuff.
Yeah.
And they really shouldn't be up on that stage because the stage is like, you got to work your way to that stage.
That's what I'm saying.
And
they didn't do the work.
They skip to the front of the line.
Process. You know
right.
what I mean?
And it's not fair to them because now they're up there bombing because someone sort of artificially pushed them to the front.
Right. Yeah, you need the good support system. But but
it is a little bit their fault too.
Yeah.
Because if anything that you want to make your career, you got to study the craft. You got to, study the greats. Want to be great. Like I don't.
There's no replacement for the work. The reps are truly and time is your best friend, right? In both of our worlds, probably.
You got to do the work. Yeah.
So Nelly.
Yeah.
Who always makes me laugh because he does.
I met him at the Comedy Store.
You met him at the Comedy Store?
Yeah, about 5 years ago. I sit down. Chris Spencer. You know Chris Spencer, the comedian?
Yeah, I'm with him tonight, actually.
We're host of Vibe.
Let's go. Oh, yeah.
From back in the day.
Chris is one of the funniest guys out there.
I was just when we just was all at Anthony Anderson's golf tournament. So we all played golf.
Chris, every time I see him, he's got another picture. He's like, here's me and Obama. Here's me and Ray Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like golf. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Maybe he might show you. It's me and Ja.
Oh, yeah, dude. And I get off stage in the original. You been to the Comedy Store before?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that room at the very front of the original room, and I sit down, and somebody just smacks me, and he goes, "Great job, man." I look over and I just go, "Thanks, Nelly." Nelly, and I'm like, just sitting there, and that's how the story sometimes. And then we each other shit, and he's cool shit. You guys are on tour?
We on tour together,
Let's
man.
go.
That's my dude.
Let's
man.
go.
We having a good time. We already did our Canadian run. That was amazing.
Massive,
amazing.
What a power combo, dude.
It's a great one too.
How much. See, in comedy, all the time, it's like, oh, he's coming back, but he's got new material. He's coming back, he's got new material. So everyone's always worried that you can't come back a year later, 2 years later with the same stuff. Yeah. But then for musicians, they want to hear the hits.
Yeah.
But so then how do you mix it up?
For us, it's pretty simple. Fans don't want you to sing new stuff.
Right.
When you got a good catalog of hits, they want you to sing the hits. They don't want you to come doing this. I remember I got a great story. I remember I went to see Prince. God rest his dead. I love Prince.
Shit.
I went to see Prince, and he fucking started doing all of this new shit.
Right.
And everybody in the crowd was so pissed off. And nobody's gonna fucking say anything because it's Prince.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But we were pissed.
Yeah.
We were fucking pissed. And then he finally started breaking into the hits and shit, and everybody rejoiced and was happy. But it was like, and then he does this schnick. He used to do this little thing where he acts like he's not gonna fucking do Purple Rain, and he leaves, and he comes back and does Purple Rain. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everybody's mad, like you ain't gonna do Purple Rain, and then
I got a new one called Orange Storm.
Yeah,
like, what?
yeah. So, you know, I'm a sponge, man. So I took that and learned from that too. Like, you know, fans come to pay their money to come see a show. But they want to see the show. They want to see the hits. They want to see the music that they grew up to, that they had fun to. They didn't pay their premium ticket to come see you do your new album that nobody fucking knows.
It's a dance, though, right? Well, so find ways to pepper some.
You got it. That's what you got to sprinkle them in.
Come on, man.
I start off my show with a new record that I have called Dreams.
Let's go.
But the beauty of it is I don't even perform the record. I just let it play. And they're in the moment of what's happening on stage while they're listening to the track. And so now what that does is they're so intrigued with the moment that they say, what the fuck is that playing in the back? That's him. That's a new Josh. Oh, what is that record? So now you get the curiosity factor versus me just trying to feed it to them and say, listen to my new thing. And so that's been working for me. And people are really looking for that record now. And
let's go.
Now all right, well, let's shoot the video.
Let's talk about order.
Yeah.
Because in comedy, but I'll be curious what Adam has to say. You want to start out with a couple of good hits that you know is going to catch the audience, easy, digestible, get out of the gate. And then you want to end with the strong stuff. And you can sort of pepper the new stuff in between, catching them at the beginning, getting them at the end. But then you get into the end. Well, there's stuff you like, and there's stuff your audience may like more than you like.
Yeah.
So, like, we all have jokes where we go, this is a better joke, but they're not me.
Right.
And they don't know enough to know this is a better joke. They like this simpler joke, which I don't love as much, but it's a better joke to end on. And then so are you giving them what they want by taking a song that's not your favorite?
No,
but giving it to them because it's their favorite at the end.
That type of thing, you know, I don't do. I curate my show the way I curate the show, and I give it to them in a full package. It's almost like going in and creating the joke for the first time. You know, you don't know if it's going to work, but you know it's funny, and so it's that same energy. I'm gonna, you know, you have to walk people into what they don't know they like.
Do you have...
It's a very weird thing, but the creators, we know how to do it.
Of course.
Do you have instances, I mean, maybe not doing a show, or maybe doing a show, because Adam knows this. You go, I got this joke, I think it's funny, I know it's funny, and then you do it, and it doesn't land like you want it to land, but then you go backstage and you go, I didn't do it correctly. I screwed it. I screwed the presentation
comedy is about timing. It's a lot. It's a rhythm and the timing on it. So maybe if you didn't land it right, you know, it didn't hit right.
But you don't have that. Do you have that in your art?
Not really, because you're doing the record that everybody knows and loves, and so it's kind of like just fucking don't forget the words, and you're pretty much solid. You know?
Yeah. What's the order with you and Nelly? You guys swap it up each night or what?
Nah, Nelly. Well, we co-headline it, but Nelly's shutting down the show, so I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
and
you can't
that's my
lose
brother.
either way. Dude.
Yeah, either way, you getting, you know, you got all of the guys before us, and then me and Nelly shut it down.
When does the American tour get going?
We start in July.
Let's go, dude. How many cities?
40.
40.
40.
Let's go, dude.
I know. Are you on a bus most of the time or flying?
I'm on the bus the whole time. I'm on
you like
the
it?
Bus relaxing. Yeah, I love my
bus. Bus is cool, right?
Love
you got your
bus.
bus. Oh yeah, well then there you go, dude.
Be on it chilling.
Yeah, you also probably get the back of the bus. I've been on comedy buses where I got the coffin, the fucking panini coffin.
Oh yeah, well my guys got the coffin.
Yeah.
I got the king size in the back.
The crew though is, I mean, makes the bus experience the best.
Man,
right?
we have a good time, man. Yeah. We up front, we playing video games.
Yeah, dude.
You know, on the ride,
smoking the bus,
smoking. Yeah,
come on, dude.
It's a vibe.
I'm gonna have to hop on one of those. You guys gonna do Seattle?
For sure.
That's my hometown.
All right.
Where you playing up there?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. We you know, we're doing all the Live Nation buildings.
Oh, cool.
And so they have like these amazing, you know, 20, 30,000 seater amphitheater spaces outdoor.
Oh yeah.
So we decided, let's go out. We're gonna be out in the summer. Let's
too.
be outside.
Good move,
yeah,
dude. That's gonna rip.
So it's gonna be a
good
lot
for
of
you
fun.
guys.
What are the best cities for you?
Man, you know, everybody thinks like the big cities are the better cities, but usually, you know, those Midwest cities, those more rural parts of the country that don't get a lot of concerts, they go nuts for sure.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, so I like doing those cities a little bit more. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love doing the big cities too, but there's a different energy on those smaller towns.
Yeah, they kind of appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And then, except for it's always ruined because the next day you're at breakfast somewhere and somebody spots you and you're like in Appleton, Wisconsin, and they go, Adam Carolla, what are you doing here? I'm a huge fan. I go, I just played last night. They go, you did? I'm like, really? The word? The word never got to you. You're a huge fan. You live in Appleton, Wisconsin. Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That's funny.
How big a fan are you that you didn't know I was coming to your little town?
But you also get those ones that, man, I seen you last night. You were fucking great. I get those too.
Yeah, I once in a while I go, I checked out Ja Rule last night. It was awesome. But anyway. You going to finish those eggs? So, the bus, it's weird. Like, traveling by bus sucks unless you get a good bus, in which case it's better than flying.
Yeah.
May I?
Oh, please. Please do. Please do.
Wait, Amber and Opal. So what's a proper...
Amber and Opal.
Guys, Dr. Phil here. And when I get fucked up during the day, it's only one drink of choice. Look, there's every different type of way to eat a Reese's. Look, I got an Adam Carolla butt plug in right now, but that doesn't mean that I like it. I'm just supporting my friends. And my new friend, Ja Rule. Can I call you Ja?
Absolutely.
All right, I'll take it from here. This is Ja Rule's Amber and Opal, which is tastes good going in, tastes better coming out. That's what she said. Don't cancel me. And remember, if you're drinking this at home by yourself, shave your head, your back, your pussy, and your crack. We'll be right back. We'll keep it right here.
We'll keep it right here.
Listen to the sound, too. Ready?
He named his whiskey after strippers.
Yeah.
Amber and Opal to the champagne room.
No, the Amber and Opal
Cool
actually has a good the name has a good story behind it. The amber is obviously the hue, the color of the liquor, but the opal is it's basically our brand messaging. We're a black-owned brand. It's me and my three brothers that made it. Not my three real brothers. My three good friends.
Let's go.
That we did this together. But sometimes when you say it's a black-owned brand, you get that stigma of it's for black people only. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
And so sometimes
I wouldn't even think that.
Times,
Yeah. No, it wasn't even there.
But the opal is a precious stone that comes in a variety of colors: black, white, yellow, beige. And so we wanted that to be indicative of our message. This is amber and opal. This is the color, and this is the liquor that is inclusive of all.
I love that, dude.
It's good. And I got to say, in terms of being inclusive to all cultures, I think I tried Snoop Dogg's cotton candy vodka or something, and I don't think that's for my culture. I do want to say that. But this is.
Yeah.
This is, because it's just got the right amount of sweetness.
Yeah,
the night goes down easy.
The ladies like it too.
Do they really?
Yeah, because it's
sweeter.
It's a little sweeter. Yeah.
Well, I remember having Jack Daniels had a honey jack at one point. Mm-hmm. It was too sweet, and it also just tasted like Rush. Does that make sense?
Now I'm gonna just say, Jack Daniels is not. It's not real liquor. It's liqueur. It's it's syrupy and syrups and things.
That's what I'm saying. It was too sweet.
This is all natural, real honey we use, everything. But I don't want to discredit my Jack Daniels guys.
Of course.
I'm gonna tell y'all a funny story.
Hey, still fuck with them.
Big shout to Jack Daniels. But I'm gonna tell you a quick funny story. So we was just at Anthony Anderson's golf tournament, and so they do the charitable part. And
I just went to him and Cedric's rib. I'm trying to get a little black bread here.
They got a barbecue.
They
got a barbecue thing. Yeah,
only white dude there.
I just went to a Panera that Mark Morrison opened and cut the ribbon. No, I'm joking. I was just trying to be a part of it.
Been to the barbecue place?
I haven't, but I had some of the sauce when we were at the thing.
Is it good?
It's good. It's good. But so they're doing all of the auctions, and they're doing trips and giveaways and shit. So they have this trip that comes up, and it's a fucking trip to the Jack Daniels facilities.
Come on.
And to see all the facility, and
it's like Wonka's factory.
Yeah. So they so basically, I said, okay, this is where we can go fucking learn some of the secrets.
Good call, dude.
So my paddle goes up. Anthony Anderson says, "Is that fucking Ja Rule's paddle?" He said, "Oh, I see what you trying to do. You trying to go steal the secret.
Oh, shit, dude. He called you out.
Called me out.
That's
so now me and this
funny.
other guy were going back and forth for the fucking bid. And I said, you know what? I said, you can have it, because the other thing was they was going to give you it was like fucking 500 bottles or 50 bottles or something like that of Jack Daniels. I'm like, I have my own whiskey. That shit's not going to get drinking. But anyway, so I let the guy get it.
That's hilarious.
So, lo and behold, afterwards, the Jack Daniels guys came up to me and they said, Ja, we would love to have you out of our facility to come steal the secrets. You know what I'm saying? They said, but no, we don't got to steal them. We'll give them to you. We'll talk to you about this. And they were very gracious and saying they would help us. We're a brand new brand. They're $1 billion fucking company. Yeah. You can help the fledgling guy.
1,000%.
Get a leg up. So I really want to say a big shout out to
that's huge.
the guys at Jack Daniels for that, man. I respect them.
I got to say, as a brother, I would have thoughts about going to a place called Lynchburg, Tennessee. It's got the word lynch
I'm
right
good,
in
man.
it. I would worry about a guy in
I'm moving around with
Lynchburg.
my pistols, man. We good. We got the pistoleros on us at all times.
Wait, what did you? You probably can't share, but were there things that stood out that they shared with you at the Jack Factory?
I didn't go yet.
Oh, you haven't gone yet?
I haven't gone yet. This happened just last night, 2 nights ago. Yeah,
cool.
So I'm gonna go, but yeah, I'm gonna go, but yeah, they were very gracious, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, there could be some game change. I mean, you're pretty locked and loaded, but
we're moving. We're in Total Wines, and we're on Reserve Bar and Seal Box and Flavia.com, which is a real big seller as well.
How do you get into comedy clubs and shit like that? Is that
we got to walk them down, man.
Really?
Yeah. So we've been doing that though. I've been walking down all of the nice, all the hot spots, all the restaurants, and different clubs.
I'm sure they're pumped too. If you're walking in with a bottle, I'm sure they're at least.
We gotta. So when you're in a nightclub that serves our whiskey, order a bottle. Mm-hmm. You will be pleasantly surprised.
Cool.
It comes with a special service.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I already have a rub and tug.
So what I did you know how they do the bottle services and stuff. It's all these fucking sparklers and all this shit that no one cares about. So what we did with Amber and Opal is when you order a bottle of Amber and Opal, it comes with a lookbook of recipes that you can make, cocktails that you can make, and it also comes with a mixologist. So he's gonna come and make the drinks right there.
Oh, that's dope.
He does the fucking shit.
Yeah. Hey,
we got
people
the
like
chicks
the
to
flair.
do it. Yeah. So that's our own little touch. When you order the bottle, get a little show at your table, and he'll make some of the different cocktails that we make.
So they're there. They got a full-time mixologist.
Only at certain spots. At certain spots. But what I'm trying to do is get every spot that I'm doing this with to let them know. Like, listen. Let this be a situation. We'll pay for it. We'll, because they upcharge you at the club, so we can take a little bit off and put it to the
good move.
Pay for the
good move.
Well, we have a little time remaining, and I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about the whole FYRE Festival thing, which is
fire.
It's a tough subject, but
it's not.
I want to know.
Really not.
I only know what I heard on TMZ, so I'm curious of your side of the whole FYRE Festival thing.
My side is just simple, man. I too am a victim. I too was bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray. So that's my side of it. I had an amazing idea to do something out of the box, for festivals. Make it an experience versus just something that you go see a concert or whatever.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do something special. So we had an amazing plan and put together, but it got outshined by greed and people who wanted to do business a little bit of outside the spectrum of what things you normally are done, and so that's what Billy did, and I can't really knock him. I haven't really spoke about this like I'm going to talk about right now, because in my world where I come from, he definitely was a stand-up guy in the sense of he took his fall. He took his shit. You know what I'm saying? He could have, the police, I'm going to just say the feds gave him the opportunity to roll on me. They didn't come pick me up. They came pick him up. And so when they picked him up, he told them, Ja didn't have nothing to do with none of this. I did everything. But what they wanted him to say was, it was this motherfucker, go get him.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They gave him the opportunity.
Why? Because bigger story or what? Just
I'm Ja Rule. You know what I'm saying? They would love to lock Ja Rule up for the shit.
Fuck.
But the reality of it is he was doing things to fraud the investors to get the money to actually do the shit, and that wasn't my part of the business. And so that's why I didn't get any jail time. I was cleared of all wrongdoing.
Yeah.
But I still, I lost a lot in that. I lost, some reputational value. That it's hard to gain that back. It takes time to gain that back, and then some money was lost too, because, I had to, settle up some of these situations and some of the people that sued. So I dealt with it the way it was supposed to be dealt with, and he did not. And, he went to prison. And so I'm glad that chapter's behind me.
Did you have, I'll tell you the worst part of this, or what could be the worst part. If there's somebody, especially a woman, like your woman, who told you, don't do this. Like, don't get involved with this. And you're like, quiet down. I know what I'm doing. She will never, for the next 1,000 years, you will never forget this. They will never let you forget. Did you have one person, management, a woman, a family member go, don't get involved with this guy?
Billy told me the sandwiches were going to be turkey with no crust on the bread.
Quite the opposite.
Oh, good. Well, at least that's good.
I'm going to tell you why. As an officer of the company, rightfully so, I could have took a salary or, something. I didn't take a fucking dollar.
Oh, wow.
And all of my advisors were like, Ja, you're entitled to some of that money. You can take a salary or whatever. I watched like $40, $50 million blow through my fucking account and did not touch a dollar. That's why I didn't get in no trouble either.
Cool. Good for you.
Because once you take the money, they don't really want to hear about you didn't know.
Yeah. Right. 1,000%.
Being stupid is not an excuse for fucking committing crimes. You know what I'm saying? And so the best thing that I did was I didn't need it. I didn't need any money. So it wasn't me being greedy for the money or anything like that. So that was the best thing that I did, was deny to take a salary or anything. I was waiting for the real bucks. Once we're done with it and we could go ahead and make the real money.
Do you still have aspirations to do a big festival like that? Because I mean,
absolutely
the idea,
not.
Oh no, that ship sailed. Because I had a small
ship
pitch I wanted to email
and
you.
Fucking sunk like the Titanic. I don't want no part of it. But you know why though too? Because I see all of these other things that happen at festivals. One of my guys is Pasquale. He does like EDC and Rolling Loud and shit. And we had a conversation where he's like, Pascal's funny. He's like, Ja, I get sued every fucking year.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so many things that go on at these festivals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, for real? And I'm like, I'm thinking you're crushing. He's like, yeah, we're making money, but every year there's some shit. There's this, there's that. He's like, I get sued every fucking year I do these things. And so I get it, because I get sued all the time too for all kinds of fucking bullshit. And I'm sure you guys have been down that road with lawsuits.
If you're successful, you get sued.
You get sued.
That's just it.
I got a cruise idea. You, me, Tracy Chapman, Keith Sweat, Adam Carolla, Luke Combs, and Billy Ocean.
Oh, it's got the word ocean right in the title.
Wait, who do you fuck with right now? Like artist-wise, like who are the people always ask comedians like who they're looking at, who's coming up or who just got you into it, but like who are the
man?
Like if you had to pull somebody to go,
shit, man. I listen to a lot of new artists. I don't know all of them by name. I just know some of the songs and sing along and I like this one, but I don't really know the artist. But I mean, really like the last artist that I really know and know their names is like Drake and Kendrick and SZA and Summer Walker. Those are like the last group of artists that I actually know their names and shit.
Yeah.
And they all, a lot of them came out like, almost 10 years ago. Well, not SZA and Summer, but, Drake and Kendrick, they're older artists, but a lot of the new guys I really don't know them by name like that, but I know some of their songs.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you a plug, because I know you got an out here. Where the Party At, the world tour. They've done Canada. They're coming here. Starting, it's going to kick off July 23rd, the U.S. leg.
The rest of the crew is actually out in UK right now, so go check them out. I'm not allowed in the UK, so I didn't make that. I couldn't make that run. But go ahead, Adam. My bad.
Because you rock too hard, or because you were carrying weight.
It's a little more intricate than that, but it's okay. It's okay.
All right. You know what? Let me tell you something. not being allowed in a country, it's like having your hands registered as a weapon. It sounds bad, but it's good. You know what I mean? It's like being thrown out of a casino for winning too much. You know, like it sounds bad. If someone said, I know nothing about this dude except for he's never allowed back in Scotland. He was thrown out of Caesars for winning too much, and his hands are registered in Nevada as weapons. You go, that's the fucking coolest. I'd want to have a drink with that dude.
That guy for sure.
And don't fuck with him. Ja Rule, great to see you.
You too, man.
Come back soon whenever the
man.
tour bus comes by.
I love your spot, man. It's fucking dope, man. It looks beautiful. If you guys, you'll probably never see Adam's space, but it's fucking pretty dope.
Well, thanks, Ja Rule. All right, we'll take a break. Adam's going to hang out, have a little more of Ja Rule's beautiful opal spirit, and we'll bring in Mayhem. We'll do a little news right after this.
Stream all the movies and shows you love for free on Pluto TV.
Say what now?
Showtime. That means drama is free, with heart-wrenching stories from Love and Basketball, Power, and Greenleaf.
In this family, we live by the Spirit.
And laughter is free with gut-busting comedies like Key and Peele, The Neighborhood, Everybody Hates Chris, and Boomerang. Watch all the hits, all for free, from all your favorite devices.
Oh my God, I love it!
Feel the free Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Select quote. There's so many things in life we just never get around to. Taking up that hobby, cleaning, the garage, you know, the little things that really make a huge difference in our lives. Yet there's one thing that most of us have probably been neglecting that can have a huge impact on our family's future. It's life insurance. And with Select Quote, getting covered with the right policy for you is easier and more affordable than you may think. If you have high blood pressure, no problem. If you have diabetes, that is fine too. Even if you have heart disease, Select Quote partners with carriers that can cover those conditions and others. So head to SelectQuote.com and a licensed insurance agent will call you right away with the right policy for your life and your budget. It's Select Quote, right, Dawson?
Select Quote. They shop, you save. Get the right life insurance for you for less at SelectQuote.com/Carolla. Go to SelectQuote.com/Carolla today to get started. That's SelectQuote.com/Carolla.
My mom crushed it. My mom stepped up a lot. She bought me condoms. She thought that was the move. Was it awkward? Yeah, for sure. Was I 9? Yeah, almost. Were they magnums? Yeah, but she believed in me, and that's something I'll never... Thank you. I love her too. I think she's a great lady, and she thought I could get halfway in there.
Adam Ray is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Adam's dates all over the place. You go to AdamRayComedy.com. Dr. Phil's coming to town near you, and we've got new shows coming out as well. All right, Mayhem, you got some news?
Yeah, I do. I got some news. New Orleans jail employee accused of helping 10 violent inmates escape said one threatened to shank him. Yeah, here's some footage of the guy's escape, and apparently Sterling Williams, 33, admitted to cutting off the water in cells to the Orleans Parish Justice Center so inmates could pull the toilet from the wall and escape.
Yeah. All right. So when I'm hiring for the new jail, part of the interview process is, do you have an issue with potentially being shanked? Because if the answer is yes, turn around, the door's right there.
Go to Target.
I need people who are okay with the possibility and notion of being shanked. Otherwise, you can't work in the shank capital of the world, which is this prison.
Yeah, you have to know that if you work in this jail, you could be murdered.
Yes. So
sorry.
They pulled the toilet.
Were fireworks supposed to go off when you said
that? They pulled the toilet, and the guy shut the water so that it could pull the toilet off the wall.
Yeah, exactly right. And then all these guys are still missing in action.
How many?
10. Wow. Yeah, 10 total. Some of them.
Oh, they're not all missing though.
Oh, okay.
I think one guy they found sleeping on a bench.
Do you think they make some of these prisons like so that you can break it? Like, because I mean, I don't know. Does it get stagnant for the security to where they're like Dude, I love a good, because like a bouncer at like a club. Any bouncer I've ever talked to, I was like, "You ever get in fights?" They go, "Oh yeah."
You got to.
They love it, dude. So is there ever a time where it gets so monotonous and stale where they're like, "Dude, I fucking just would love a break in right now, dude. I love or a breakout to where I could step in and throw down some hammer."
Yeah. I miss tunneling out of prisons.
Me too.
It was a big part of my childhood.
Yeah.
Of, like, this guy's going to tunnel out.
Well, just so you guys know that they did tunnel out. Technically, behind the toilets is a service tunnel. So
I see.
They got through there.
Yikes.
They got up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is usually how anytime they break out of jail, this is how it goes through the toilet, through the back service.
They always get caught though, because first off, they already got caught. That's why they're breaking out, and a lot of them are just wearing orange onesies, which is tough. Also miss the part. It's got to be tough breaking out of prison in modern times, because in old times they always had the scene where the guys were wearing their jailbird outfits, but they came across the clothesline,
right?
That had the button-up shirts and the jeans on it, and the next thing they were wearing that. There's no more
on a
clothes.
windowsill.
Very Looney Tunes.
There's no clothesline action anymore. I think Chris Carolla was the last woman in modern society to use a clothesline. We had a clothesline.
I think the same way that like Dawson's not allowed within 15 feet of schools. I think most prisons aren't allowed within like 15 feet of clotheslines.
Yeah, it's 150 yards. But I get what you're saying. 15 feet. That's stress.
I kid. He's actually, they invite him to most schools. It's actually the opposite, to speak.
That's right. Scared straight.
Yeah. Scared straight. I would love to see Dawson do a scared straight. Holy shit. Wait, Dawson, real quick. I'm the kid. Ready? You ain't shit, mister. I'll fuck you up. Suck my dick.
You're going to be someone's bitch in about 45 seconds.
Huh?
Yeah.
Perfect. And scene. You got the job.
All right, man jumped by coyote, saves himself by strangling it for 10 minutes. It was either him or me.
I encounter coyotes, and they're a weird combination of scared and timid and weird and aggressive. Like they're kind of both. Like normally, rabbits are easy. They just run. They always run.
Right.
And then grizzly bears always charge.
Right.
Coyotes are like, sometimes they stalk and sometimes they run, and it's unclear which one you're getting.
It's a little guy at the bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's rangy.
We don't know.
Get after it.
This guy choked out a coyote?
Yeah, funny. He was having a smoke outside his home in Roxborough, and suddenly felt like something was watching him. Felt like something was hunting him. And then suddenly a coyote emerged from the woods and charged at him. He jumped at him. He caught him in the air, and he was biting him, so he threw him down, and he had to rip his left hand out of the coyote's mouth.
Oh!
Yeah. And then
choke him.
Two heads. And I argue that 10 minutes is excessive.
Oh, he choked him for 10 minutes.
10 minutes. 2 minutes will do the trick, kids, if you're watching at home. But
if you're looking to
10 minutes is too much.
I mean, who knows, though? How many coyotes have you killed?
That's a good point.
I'm basing off men.
Yeah, for sure. But who knows? Maybe the coyote took it. Maybe he. I don't know. Also, I didn't know coyotes attacked people. I thought they were just like animals only, like cats and dogs.
I think when they're desperate enough and hungry, they'll go for it.
There's weird outlier coyotes who like follow you at a distance. I've had those. Fall at the distance coyote. There's one in my new neighborhood that just makes noise up on the lawn, and it's always unclear when you're walking toward them whether they leave or you leave. They have a weird relationship with power, and they do this thing all the time where they go, "Oh, they're eating the dogs." They eat meat. And they live in the nature, and if you got a little dog, they want to eat it. This guy seems unlikely as a coyote. He's got dreads. He looks like he's Rastafarian. He looks like he plays the steel drum in a band,
he's good with his
Jamaican
hands.
band. But he's not the guy I pictured killing the coyote with his hands.
Also, where does the coyote? It's one of those creatures too that I go, why did we make that one? Like, what is it? Who is it serving? Who is it? Where are they adding value? I don't know.
They're snagging jackrabbits off the planes usually.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, but
I didn't know we had a jackrabbit problem.
Trash cans. They figured out trash cans, and it's been game over ever since.
I had rabbits when my roommate had rabbits in my first apartment in in North Hollywood. And rabbits, we just keep feeding them. They just keep getting fatter and fatter and fatter. They don't stop growing. They just keep eating. These are a whole head of cabbage into the cage. It's gone in 5 minutes. They just eat the whole thing. And then at some point, he said, I came home and I was like, where are the rabbits? He's like, I set them free. I was like, you took morbidly obese, declawed rabbits and you set them free? He goes, yeah. I go, where? He goes, in Laurel Canyon Hills. I go, there's nothing but coyotes up there. He goes, I set them free. I go, these rabbits can barely move. They've never met anything in the wild. They get hand fed. What do you mean? You sent them to their death. He's like, I set them free. I go, the only way these rabbits are making it through night one is if the coyotes are suspicious and think it's a trick. Right. Like those are exploding rabbits or poison rabbits. They'll get through night one because morbidly obese rabbits being dropped off on their doorstep is going to make them suspicious. But they're not making it 2 days in the wild. Like, just so you know, you sent those rabbits to their death. That's all I want you to know.
Wiley won the lottery.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get all the coyotes. They're out there. They eat little dogs. They'll eat whatever. They all get together. They get in heat. They try to draw the dogs out. Like it's weird that we have dogs and then we have wolves and we have coyotes and we have wild dogs. We have domesticated. Like somebody figured out. Like dogs just figured out. Look, show up, make friends, be nice. You'll get fed. Like do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where they come from.
I had to drop, we have 2 Cavapoos, Pickles and Bagel, right? Pickles is 5, Bagel's 1. And
wait, what's a Cavapoo?
Cavapoo is King Charles Spaniel and Poodle mix.
That's a hoity-toity brand. Know that. Yeah, what the hell are you talking about?
I didn't know that. That's
subscribe to Dog Fancy. I figured this one out.
Yeah. And I had to drop Pickles off. We were trying out somebody to like watch them when we went out of town, and people sometimes disclose. Everyone, the same way you were talking about, like with Ja Rule, like. What you think a 1 or a 9 is we all have our own set of goggles, and the gal goes, yeah, our dog. We have another small dog, so they'll all get along. Small dog. This was the size of the small dog, and it was like a wolf, and it had those beady eyes, and it was a male, and both our dogs are gals, and they've been fixed, but still, that doesn't mean they can't get butt fucked. So this dog is chasing Pickles around, who's 5.
You sound like my grandfather.
Look, you can get fixed. Doesn't mean you can't take a good ass, Raymond, on Shabbat. So this dog's chasing Pickles around and mounting her, and I go, and I'm like asking her questions, and I'm like, and she just goes, well, I'll keep an eye on that. I'll keep an eye on that. Is you're like calming me down. I'm like, is that going to be? And there wasn't a lot of room to roam. So I eventually ended up picking them up and being like, you know what? I actually forgot. I got to take them home and pick up. And I got out of there. But
I thought you were going to say you fed them to a coyote.
I did. That was Well, if this story really had a strong end, but the size difference of certain dogs, like it felt like a mini coyote. Yeah. Once they get about this big, and the dogs have beady eyes, I don't know. Yeah,
black eyes like a doll's eyes.
All right,
Tom Selleck?
No, that's from Jaws.
Trump wants a major investigation into Beyonce, Oprah, and other endorsements of Harris. Yeah, Donald Trump plans to call a major investigation into celebrity endorsements that Kamala Harris received during the 2024 campaign, alleging without evidence that Bruce Springsteen, Oprah Winfrey, U2's Mono, and Beyonce were paid to publicly support the Democratic nominee.
There should be a reverse endorsement, which is, okay, dig this, Adam Ray. Nobody gives a shit about the celebrity endorsements anymore. They don't work. You know what I mean? Like George Clooney thinks no one gives a fuck. Oprah, whatever.
There was a time.
There was a time.
Yeah.
But the ship has sailed.
Yeah, I think so.
Like the Mexican Navy. And we've moved on. We've turned the page. Thank you. Now, here's what you would do. I would say, like if I was running Kamala's campaign, I wouldn't go, look, they'll go, we could give $5 million to Beyonce and she would endorse you. I'd go, listen, the people who like Beyonce are already voting for you, and the ones who don't like Beyonce are not going to vote for you just because Beyonce. You're not going to win. You're not going to win over one person.
It's a wasted Instagram
But I'll tell you what we could do. Instead of $5 million to Beyonce, We give 10 grand to Jared Fogle to endorse Trump.
Yes.
We get anti-endorsements. You know what I mean? We get the head of the KKK. We get pedophiles. We get Harvey Weinstein. We get all the dregs of society.
We get Brian Laundrie's parents.
That's right. We get all, the guy.
The people that are covering up murders.
Right. We get the most despicable people on the planet. We give them 8 grand, and they will gladly endorse Trump.
Bro, that's so funny.
And that's how we do it, because we're going to reverse engineer the endorsement.
Dude, that's brilliant.
Because look, okay, it would be great. It would be great if Winston Churchill endorsed you, but if Adolf Hitler endorsed you, it'd be much worse.
Yeah.
Like
the damage is greater.
Right.
With the person
So
you didn't
let's
expect.
think anti-endorsement, and let's see if we can. Joey Buttafuoco.
Wow.
4 grand. Yeah. We can get him.
If that.
Yeah, if that. I'm rounding up.
Maybe just some duct tape.
Whatever's in the ashtray of your Toyota, we'll go with Joe. We'll take P. Diddy will endorse. I got a whole list of people. Michael Avenatti will endorse.
Wow.
I got a list of endorsements.
Wow, yeah.
Honey Boo Boo's mom will do an endorsement. She's 4
Mrs.
grand.
Boo Boo.
Mrs. Boo Boo. Like, what could a murderer's row of horrible endorsements?
Start getting some cartoon characters in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the way to go.
I think so.
Because we're now at a point where you can't add votes, but you can take them away.
Yeah.
And a good bad endorsement will work.
Also, like the celeb, just the power and influence, it still shows itself in pockets. But like,
I can get all of Nickelback for 30 grand to do the anti-endorsement.
Don't joke about that, by the way.
I know. Yeah, I don't want to jinx it.
Okay.
I don't want to jinx it. But I'm saying I'm going for anti-endorsement.
Wow. Dude.
Listen, throw my name in the ring.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
sure.
I'd probably make some cash doing an endorsement, an anti-endorsement.
Yeah, I'd love to skip Sacramento.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So yeah, he's suing them because they got paid. What did she go through like $2 billion worth of campaign?
Yeah.
Whatever. It's the weirdest. We're living in a world where LA or California can spend $24 billion on homelessness, and we can have more homeless. And you can spend $2 billion on a campaign and lose, and we can spend $80 billion on a train that doesn't go anywhere and doesn't work. Like, it's a lot of money flying around for not a lot of results, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There is nothing coming out the other end.
I was about to try to say something profound, but this
everybody had some jobs.
This Amber and Opal was hitting my
I
heart.
think that's getting you.
But it is, man. There's just a lot of different ways to spend the money. And I think you didn't have to pay probably them. Like I think you were saying, they were going to vote for them anyway or support. I don't know who came up with that idea. Maybe it was Beyonce's people that were like, yo, like you should let them know that like you're down for a pay to play or a I don't know how that happens.
I don't know how they do like this kind of thing. Is it just out in the open, or does your manager talk in code, or it's like, hey, it would be really great if Beyonce would.
It also might not even be true. The amount of fucking thing, like honestly, can we also like recognize like how many things are flying out every day? And headline clickbait, and we're going, fucking dude, well, it's printed. It's probably true. This might also be total fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm just playing both sides.
$1.5 billion in 15 weeks, which is $100 million a week.
Because they also have so much fucking money that I'm almost like, really? Oprah needed cash to, you know what I'm saying? Like, for what?
Well, Trump said that it was $11 million to Beyonce, but it's unclear where he got that number. He said it's from a news report.
Yeah, bro.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing with everything. No matter how rich you are, the idea of making $5 million in an afternoon, and also they always tell you don't have to do what you're known for. You know what I mean? Like, Adam, I got a whole bunch of money, corporate gig, $5 million, no jokes. No jokes. You just walk out there, say hi, and leave, and no singing.
Sure.
No, whatever it is you do, you don't have to do any of that.
Just be you.
No cage fights, no nothing.
So
just show up, say hi, and leave.
You would have went to the FYRE festival.
I'm saying the reason people go, why does this guy do this thing for this amount of money when he's already got so much money?
You're addicted to making it if you have that much.
You already done a thing where it's like you're this many years old and you have $700 million. You cannot spend it in your lifetime. We're already there. Mathematically, there's no reason to get out of bed
That's why I'm like,
ever again.
Yeah, what are you doing it
right.
for?
because it's the notion of getting $3 million for an afternoon's work.
It's a mood boost. No it's the same way that like some of these athletes, I guess, ask for a ridiculous amount of money, but it's like, you know, when a certain wide receiver, or quarterback, or baseball player makes a certain amount, another one will ask for this amount, but it's because it's like, well, I want to. Yeah. There's a little confidence boost.
Contest.
Yeah, measuring. Yeah,
it's
right.
also the difference. Like, you know, a new Lexus is $59,000, but they will get someone to do something and go, we'll give you a car. Lexus is going to just give you a car. Because if they say to the guy, we'll give you $59,000, the guy will go, but I could do that at play a theater, do a club, do an arena or whatever. I could make more than that. But if they go, you get a new car for doing half a day's work, most guys will just do it because it's a weird thing. Like I remember once,
I'll get you into a Lincoln for $49,000.
Oh, Matthew, you will.
The seats are heated.
Wild turkey.
I got gushers. There's a gusher container. You can open. You know the. I've never seen somebody so excited for a gusher container.
I had a guy who was like a regular dude, poor guy kind of guy, work for me, and Mike's Hard Lemonade gave me and Jimmy a chopper for doing some sort of spot for them a million years ago. And it was like a $19,000, $18,000 chopper. This guy could wrap his mind around me getting paid $50,000 an episode to do a TV show and do this and do that and do everything else. But the chopper I got for free, he never got his mind around because he was a dude. It's like, they gave you that.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, for an afternoon. For one day. Yeah, one day. One day's work, you get a chopper. It's like, yeah, normally you get $40,000, you buy 2 choppers for one day's work. But it's the symbolism of the chopper that it was there that he couldn't get his mind.
It's beautiful in a way.
It couldn't it's innocent, it's earnest, it's old school, it's a little retarded, but it's very earnest. Like he just couldn't get around that. The dollars he could figure out, or he didn't impress him, and that was kind of. It's like you'll know when you have kids, you go out and you do a bunch of shows and you get tens of thousands of dollars. You come home and you come back and you get. You know, I made $50,000 last weekend. Your kids will go like, yeah, all right, so what? You come home with like $800 cash and just throw it down on the bed and they look at it. They go, oh,
lose their minds.
Well, yeah, they lose their minds, right? Because it's that. It's tactile.
Yeah.
All right, one more. Do you got one more?
Yeah, I got one more. Actually, 1 in 4 sunscreens on store shelves are safe and effective.
So 75% don't work.
A fourth of the sunscreens on. A fourth. Store shelves in the United States deliver safe and effective protection against the harmful rays of the sun.
There is going to be 2 syndromes that physicians in the future are going to have to look out for. It's something called white lung. That's too many moms spraying sunscreen all over the face of their 9-year-olds and just inhaling all this fucking SP50. You know, they're going to have a white lung syndrome. They're sucking it all up, all in the face. And there's going to be another syndrome called floating liver syndrome, waiting in line at TSA when they want your bottle that costs $7 of water. And you're like, fuck that. You're just chugging 2 liters of water in the next 4 feet. This all go to my head because I spent $7 for this water and not fucking chucking it. I've chugged.
You can't.
So you can't throw it away, right?
Floating liver syndrome, great band name.
Floating liver
opening
syndrome
for Ja Rule
and white lung.
Where's the party?
There's going to be a lot of frequent flyer kids that have both. Like they're going to Hawaii getting white lung because they're getting the sunscreen sprayed all over them, chugging water at the airport.
When I was playing a New York cop at Universal Studios, this is the last job I did before I got fired. And there were these teen tours.
Oh, this wasn't Wolverine?
No, Wolverine. Well, yeah, I did hand in my claws. I was doing it simultaneously. I was hosting the Fear Factor live show, playing Wolverine and playing a 1940s New York cop.
And hosting
the Fear Factor live. And you know, when I was the New York cop, it was like I wasn't from anything. There was a little chunk of the park that was like New York Street, and my boss would always give me a hard time because like at one point there was a multicolored squirt gun that I pulled up and was shooting Asian tourists with, and she was like, "This isn't from 1940s New York." I go, "Jenna, with all due respect, a train just drove by with SpongeBob, Curious George, and Dora the Explorer, and blasting the song Ooh Ee Ooh Ah Ching Chang Walla Walla Bing Bang." I'm not a history buff, but I'm pretty sure that was being played during fucking World War II. And so at one point, these teen tour groups would come through. Teen tour is a thing where Rich parents pay about, I think, $40,000 to have their kids for 3 weeks go Vegas, San Francisco, LA, San Diego, and they go on buses and they go to Universal, they go to Disneyland, they go to Vegas, and there'd be shows at the Hollywood Improv that we've done for these 14, 15-year-olds. And usually it'd be all these young kids, and you'd find the youngest kid, and you'd be like, "You probably got the biggest dick," and it's all crowd work because they can't relate to anything you're talking about.
Right.
I brought this kid up one time. He rapped in front of all the things. I was like, "You're probably gonna fuck one of the counselors." They all went nuts. So at Universal Studios, I'm this New York cop, and the teen tour group comes through, and I was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing? You got the teen tour? You guys young kids? You having a good time?" And one of the girls is covered in sunscreen. And I'm this New York cop, and I go, you got a little, you missed this part. You're covered in sunscreen. And she goes, "It's not sunscreen." I go, "Oh, what is it?" I'm like trying to do a bit with like these 15 kids. And she goes, "It's cum."
What?
And I go, "Okay, that's my cue. I'm going to go talk to Captain America." Fucking what the, dude, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. So anyway, you said sunscreen. I thought of that story. But it just, dude, hug your kids and try your best because no kid is going to be immune from a sunscreen cum joke. The fact also that like they were that age, and I was like, that's where your brain's going right now. But
she's
also
gone full bukkake at 15.
Full bukkake at 15, yeah.
Wow.
But also, they're on this. It's summer camp on a bus, and you're going Vegas, San Diego, San Fran, LA. It's almost too much. And the counselors were like all doing their own thing. They were getting fucked up. Anyway, teentour.com for tickets.
I like the word bukkake because it sounds like what it is.
Yeah.
There's certain words that don't sound like there's certain words.
Would you rather eat
casualty of war? Doesn't sound like you died.
No.
It sounds like something casual or whatever.
Am I
Garnish your wages. But bukkake for a made up word.
It's almost
sort of sounds
onomatopoeia.
like what it is.
If you didn't know what a bukkake was, and I pronounce it bukkake because I'm old school. If and you had the chance and somebody said, "Hey, do you want to go to a bukkake tonight?" and you didn't know what it was, would you think it was a gangbang where someone's getting fucking cookied on? I don't think that's a real term. I just made that up. This is good liquor.
Yeah.
Or do you think it's a Benihana type establishment?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Or do you think it's a band you're going to see?
I would roll the dice. I would say sign me up.
You're a fun guy.
For the bukkake.
And would you be bummed if you came and you sat down and there was, let's say even it was a gangbang, but they had the Benihana type place settings. So you sat down, they have a chef, but that's a decoy.
Yeah.
Or maybe the chef is how the party gets started.
Wait, we all jizz on the stove? I don't get it.
Dude, stay with us, dude.
Sorry, guys.
Sometimes you think of sentences that may have never been uttered in human history. We all jizz on the stove may have never been strung together because
brand new sentence.
No.
Well, stoves have only been around for 500 years, and then the vernacular jizz has only been around for 20 years. So combining the jizz and we all,
it doesn't add up.
Yeah, it's not like ye old gents who all jizzed on a stove. It's not old. It's not old time talk. It's new. That's modern. That may be yours.
That's yours.
We'll have to check the Urban Dictionary after the show. All right, let me give plugs to Adam Ray. You go to AdamRayComedy.com. Always funny. The Dr. Phil stuff, just a joy.
8 more shows left.
8 more.
That's it.
Yeah,
8 more. And then the new characters coming out.
Yeah, who knows, man?
Also, Ja Rule, Where's the Party At? That's that tour is going to start July 23rd. And then, of course, Amber and Opal Spirits as well. I recommend it highly. I'll be in Bellflower doing stand-up this Saturday, 2 shows. First show sold out, but the second show's got some tickets left at the Stand-Up Comedy Club. And then Tacoma and Spokane, all over the place. Go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. Until next time, Adam Carolla, Adam Ray, and Ja Rule, and Mayhem saying, Mahala.